Good morning. It is March 30th, 2025. This is the State Central Committee of the Libertarian Party of Indiana. This is our post-convention meeting. The time is 11:39, and I call this meeting to order. Madam Secretary Dasbach, please call the roll.
Chair McMahon, present. Stephanie Dasbach, Secretary, present. James Sceniak, Vice Chair.
Present.
Ronnie Dickson, Treasurer.
Here.
Chuck Hagerman, Tech.
No,
Okay,
there are no directors.
got it. John Schick, D1.
Here.
Cotton, D2.
Here.
Avery, D3.
Here.
Lundy, D4.
Here.
Shillings, D5.
Here.
Lomax, D6.
Here.
Libby Glass, D7.
Here, Elizabeth.
Yes, ma'am. Haynes, D8.
Here.
Kelly Curran, D9.
Here.
We have guest present, Clayton Schultz, Grant County, Russell Brooksbank, Clark County, Margie Phipps, Clark County, Greg Hirsch, Clark County, Joe Houtman, Hendrick County, Chuck Hagerman, Marion County, Dustin Koffel from St. Charles County, Missouri, Michael Schultes, Hamilton County, Andrew Smith, Hamilton County.
Hancock.
Oh, Hancock, my bad. And Liz Coquillard from Elkhart County.
So by my count, that is 13 voting members present.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Adoption of agenda. There is a couple of changes to the agenda that I'd like to make, starting with appointment of directors. Under communications, tech, and outreach, I would like to increase those from 2 minutes to 10 minutes each, bringing that total section up to 34 minutes. Appointment of teams, branded materials, comm, social, and gaming, moving each of those to 10 minutes each, bringing that to 30 minutes. Under new business, adding a section G, disaffiliation of DeKalb County, for 5 minutes. Is there any objection to those amendments? Are there any additional amendments that the board would like to make?
Remove.
Mr.
second
Lomax.
comm social.
Oh, thank you. Remove section D from appointment of teams. Thank you, Mr. Lomax. Any other amendments to the agenda? Is there any objection to the agenda as amended? Hearing no objection, the amended agenda is adopted. Appointment of timekeeper. I'm going to appoint Ms. Glass, D7, as timekeeper. Moving on to the next item, officer introductions, starting with the chair. That's me. I'm Evan McMahon. I've been here. This is the third term. For those of you who are new, just a couple of rules. Please make sure to raise your hand and wait to be addressed. If somebody from your district is present and would like to be recognized, it must go through the body of the board to recognize that person. Please wait to be called on when you have your hand up. If multiple people are wanting to speak, I will say who is next to speak and who is after them so that you don't have to hold your hands up. If you have any questions, please ask. We're going to be doing a lot of work together. Everybody here should have received information to be prepared for today's meeting and know your schedules for the rest of the year. Except for Mr. Cotton, who didn't see his email till this morning. So you might want to start looking at your calendar right now. We have a monthly meeting on Saturdays. Every other month is in person in Indianapolis.
We got those on the written calendar at home.
Perfect. Okay. Any questions for the chair? Ms. Avery?
Did you indicate that we already have dates for the meeting?
No.
Okay,
No. Everybody to look at their schedule to know when their availability is.
I was like.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Moving on to our vice chair, newly to the board, Mr. James Sceniak.
Hi, I'm James Sceniak. I'm absolutely thrilled to work with many great individuals here. I am absolutely looking forward to progressing liberty and hearing your guys' thoughts on all the issues. I'm here if you guys need any support. Feel free to email me and I'll take any questions if anybody has a question for me.
Any questions for the vice chair?
Not this time.
Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Sceniak. Next up is treasurer, Mr. Ronald Dickson, also new to the board.
Thank you, Kevin. My first priority is gonna be just kind of getting plugged in and getting email communication set up, getting access to the accounts and the state and federal systems, make sure we're logging in. So my plan is to be acquainted with all that and hopefully be plugged into that well before our next SCC meeting is my plan. And then after that, start to look at providing the team here with projections and some, kind of supplementing membership drives, and then maybe at some point addressing a new bank account, which I know has been discussed informally. So that, but I'm happy to meet with all of you, happy to be in this role, and feel free to contact me and look forward to working with you. Thanks.
Any questions for the treasurer? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Dickson. Now for the secretary, Ms. Dosbach, Stephanie Dosbach, so new to the committee.
Good morning, Stephanie Dasbach. Happy to be here, happy to work with each and every single one of you, and hope to provide, I guess, consistent and clear minutes and communication with everyone.
Any questions for the secretary? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Ms. Dosbach. We'll move on to district rep introductions. These are introductions, not district reports. It's just a little bit about who you are and that kind of thing, because we all want to be friends. Starting with District 1, Mr. John Schick.
I'm John Schick. I joined the party in 2002. I've been on the St. Central Committee off and on since 2004. I was secretary for 10 years back in the or 2010, I think. Anyways, so I've been in and around the party for many years. Live in Chesterton, which is near Valparaiso, and nice to all the new members on Central.
Thank you, Mr. Schick. Any questions for Mr. Schick? Okay, moving on to District 2, Mr. Timothy Cotton.
My name's Tim Cotton. I've been in the Libertarian Party here for the past 3 years. Helped reaffiliate St. Joe County here several years ago. Looking forward to working with everybody and trying to get more people into office.
Any questions for Mr. Cotton? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Cotton. District 3, Ms. Christy Avery.
Thank you. I have been a member, I think officially since 2012. I was brought into the party actually through my former husband. That's the best thing he ever did for me. So thank you, I guess, to him. And I live in Allen County and I'm active with the Allen County Party. I think I'm now, since Michael dropped off, the longest continuously serving member on this board, so. And I look forward to working with all the new people.
Oh, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Avery? Hearing none. District 4, Mr. Danny Lundy.
Danny Lundy, been a member for 6-7 years now, and well, my third term. So I'm just looking forward to getting the work done.
I think it's more than that. I think this is your 4th term.
It's not a district rep out there.
Is it?
It just seems.
Oh, no,
like
you
I
were
showed up a
you were
lot.
just there at the meetings,
Yeah.
being annoying.
Fun
That's
with you,
right.
yeah.
Now I remember. It's all coming back.
Which is
Larry,
which
here's-
is my real job on this board, is to annoy others. So.
Any questions for Mr. Lundy? Okay, hearing none. District 5, Ms. Lori Schillings.
I'm District 5 rep. I've been on the SCC. I think this is my 3rd term. I've been involved with the convention committee since 2021, and we served in that capacity pretty much every year since. Thank you so much for your time today.
Any questions for Ms. Schillings? Okay, hearing none. Moving on to District 6, Mr. Luke Lomax.
Luke Lomax. I live in Hancock County, right on the edge of Hancock and Marion. The treasurer of Hancock County also. This is my 3rd term, first time elected by chair, so that's good that we're actually getting enough quorum to have a district meeting where a rep gets elected. So that's awesome. Looking forward to continuing progress.
Excellent. Any questions for Mr. Lomax? Hearing none. District 7, Ms. Elizabeth Glass.
I'm Libby Glass. This is my starting my second term on the board. I've been a libertarian officially since 2023 and officially or unofficially 2020. I've run for office twice and that's fun. Any questions for me?
Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Ms. Glass. District 8, Mr. Micah Haynes.
Micah Haynes, I'm from Vincennes. I was chair of Knox County for a few years and then District 8 rep for a few years. And took a leave of absence. Enjoyed planning and running a lot of events. And I'm looking forward to getting back into that and sustainably growing the community back down there.
Also, special note, Mr. Haynes secured the Libertarian podium for us from District 8 and brought it up. And he's going to take it home with him today because we can't fit it in our vehicles. And then he's gonna bring it back up at the next in-person meeting. So thank you for that, Mr. Haynes. Any questions? All right. District 9, Ms. Kelly Curran.
My name's Kelly Curran, and this will be beginning my first full term on the SCC. I first joined the LPIN in 2001. I've served as a county chair, vice chair, founding member of the IUS College Libertarians back in the day, one of the founding members of the LP Rubber Chicken Caucus. That's probably my most recent proud accomplishment.
Any questions for Ms. Curran? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, all of the district members, district representatives. Now we'll move on to appointment of directors. The chair would like to nominate for our communications director, Mr. Andrew Smith from Hancock County. He has previously served in that role for the state party. And I'd like to see him continuing the work that he did in that role. We had some really breakout, the only qualification he really needs is one, his wife is an editor of a newspaper. I think we might be able to get some coverage there. And the second thing is the #1 article on the Indy Star, the largest paper in the state of Indiana, was twice as large as the next 2 articles combined. Was our op-ed on civil asset forfeiture. And it got picked up and carried around the state. And that is not the first time in the last year that we have had front page news coverage around the state. So our comms team is doing really well. So I would like to nominate Mr. Andrew Smith to continue the role as comms director.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Lomax.
And tell them how we know that that was the largest op-ed.
Because a pissed off columnist at the Indy Star who hates us mentioned it. Basically saying how horrible we are and no one cares about what we care about. And then proceeded to say, but they did have the largest viewed article. So it was Briggs, wasn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, Briggs. To ruin your day there. So it was moved and seconded by Mr. Lomax. Mr. Smith, would you like to speak towards your nomination as comms director?
It has been a pleasure to serve and help spread our principles and who we are as a party in a very professional manner. And I accept the nomination and look forward to continuing to help spread the message of the LPI into our city.
I did mess up. I'm sorry. We do have to do a roll call vote because they become voting directors.
Okay.
So I screwed up and told you it was a yay or nay voice vote, but it's not. I'm just remembering because they are voting directors. We have to do a roll call vote. I'm
Okay.
sorry about that.
That's okay.
While she's going through that, there's another sideline to the comms director that I'd like to talk about, which will be a second motion after this is passed, or if he is elected. We would like to see the comms director, when sending out press releases, either on behalf of the state party, the county party, or a candidate, that they be CC'd on the send report and the view report from our Agility PR. So that will become part of the practice of sending out those press releases, that they're CC'd on the review, on the run report and the review report. Do you understand that, Mr. Smith? Okay.
You're gonna get all the reports.
well, he's the one running the thing,
Oh.
so it would be like, in this instance, Allen County will get a report once the press release goes out. They'll get an automatic report saying it was sent, and then they'll get when it's completed, who all opened it, who all looked at it from those press contacts. So, are you ready?
Just to be clear, that the voting members are officers and the district reps, is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yes, I'm ready.
And you start, it alternates starting from the bottom one time, and then the next time you start from the top, but you will always do me last.
Okay.
Okay.
District 9, Kelly Cran, yay or nay? Micah Haynes, District 8.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Glass, District 7.
Yeah.
Luke Lomax, District 6.
Yay.
Lori Schillings, District 5.
Yes.
Danny Lundy, District 4.
Yay.
Where we at? 3.
Three.
Okay, yeah. Christy Avery, 3.
Yes.
Tim Cotton, District 2.
Yay.
And John Schick, District 4.
Yes.
Yay from Stephanie Dosbach. Ronnie Dickson, treasurer.
Yes.
Vice Chair James Sceniak,
Hey,
and Kevin McMahon, Chair.
Yes. Congratulations, Mr. Smith. And you may join the table, sir. And now he becomes the voting director.
This would come to the bottom of the list.
Yes, yep. That now they can. Yeah. Actually, Mr. Clayton or Mr. Schultz, nobody at all. Can you please actually go ask Lindsay Proudfoot and say that I'm okay with the AC being turned off in here, but it's too loud. Yeah. Sorry for those that may have age-related heat or size-related heat. There's nothing. Because you're a beefy, muscular, bold man.
Somebody told me I had to wear a button-up long sleeve.
You can change now.
I can't change, it's too late.
Body
I'm
shape.
already this.
Body shaming,
Yeah, I'm already this.
ageism. I didn't say women. I just said age-related. That's on you. Next up is tech director, and I would like to, are you ready, by the way?
Just 1 second.
Okay. Please hold. Okay, next up is tech director. I would like to nominate Mr. Michael Schulteis to serve as technical director. He already has the keys to all of our stuff. And so putting him in that position makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of things that need to be transferred now anyway. He's also going to be helping me with some of the API work that needs to be done with Civi and one of our data brokers. Mr. Hagerman will be continuing in his capacity as a Civi director, but not as a voting board member. He'll be managing Civi updates for us with Michael Schulteis, and doing the Civi, some of the Civi maintenance and stuff. Ms. Glass.
That's Michael Schultz. No.
Yes.
Okay.
This is not a surprise list. Seconded by Ms. Schillings. Mr. Schulteis, would you like to speak to your nomination?
Been volunteering as a technology volunteer with the state party since 2008. Service to the party. Thank you that I've been convicted for taking over and starting.
Any questions for Mr. Schulteis in his capacity as potential tech director? Okay, hearing none, we'll go to a roll call vote. You'll start from the top, but you'll skip me and come to me last. And you do include Mr. Smith.
To begin, Vice Chair James Sceniak,
Hey.
Treasurer Ronnie Dickson.
Yes.
Stephanie Dostock, yay. John Chick, D1.
Yay.
Um.
G2.
I know,
Tim
Tim
Cotton.
Cotton, sorry.
Yay.
Chrissy Avery, D3,
Yes.
Danny Lundy, D4.
Yay.
Lori Schillings, D5.
Yay.
Ruth Lomax, D6.
Aye.
Elizabeth Glass,
Yes.
D7. Micah Haynes, D8. And, Kelly Curran, D9. Andrew Smith
Yes.
and Chair
Yes.
unanimous.
Mr. Schulteis, you can come join the board, please, sir. Oh, yeah, congratulations. Welcome.
That's what he thought he was out.
I literally said that in my interview.
I listened to it.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready. Actually, I'm just gonna be talking, so. Political director, I kind of want to hold off on that until our next meeting. I don't have a name prepared for political director and it hasn't been filled since 2001. So that's okay. So it'll be duties that fall to the chair until we appoint somebody, but I do anticipate having a name at our next meeting as a political director. Membership. We haven't had a membership director in a while either. It's been the duty of the vice chair, which has mostly been just getting the membership cards out. However, I'm going to voluntold myself, our treasurer, Mr. Dickson, and our vice chair, Mr. Sceniak. The three of us will be working on membership tasks together. Mr. Dickson has also graciously agreed to sit down and do membership calls to encourage membership. Either people who have lapsed to come back or cold calling people in our database to convince them to join. Mr. Dickson.
Yes,
Oh, that wasn't a question.
agreed.
Okay. So we will be doing that. We will also be processing member cards on a weekly or bi-weekly basis instead of monthly. Unfortunately, when our former vice chair, Ms. Alexander, had to step away, membership cards did not go out December, January, February, and literally last Monday, we got 168 membership card backlog sent out. Yeah. I do not want to do that again. So let's not do them a month at a time. Let's do them a week to 2 weeks at a time. That'd be dope. So that's where we stand on membership. Outreach and community. This is a new one for us. We haven't had this before. And I put community because there's a little misunderstanding about what outreach director is. It's the thinking that that's running events, and it's not. Outreach is actually going and building coalitions with organizations, whether it be a single organization or a membership. When we talk to our county parties about outreach events, it's the same idea of doing something within the community. We just typically focus that around being a bannered event where we have a pop-up tent and an outreach kit, things like that. But outreach as a whole is building bridges towards other like-minded or even single issue organizations that we can align with. I would like to nominate Ms. Elizabeth Coquillard to the position of outreach director with her expressed acknowledgement and enthusiasm that it will not only be cannabis organizations that we will be reaching out to.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Sceniak. Ms. Coquillard, would you like to speak to your nomination for outreach director?
Learn the new role of coalition building and leadership. So I'm excited to do that. Maybe kind of something and back to the.
Okay, Madam Secretary, whenever you're ready, can you call the roll?
Yes, give me just 1 moment, please. All
Huh?
He's got 8 minutes.
right.
Isn't it though?
Square peg, square hole.
Yeah, yeah,
all that.
right.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of times out there.
Um,
Yep.
bottom top.
Michael Schulteis, Tech Director. How do you vote, yay or nay for Elizabeth Coquillard as the outreach and
Just outreach.
Hey.
Andrew Smith,
Yay.
Kelly Curran? Micah Haynes,
Yes.
Elizabeth Glass? Yes. Luke Lomax,
Yes.
Lori Schillings,
Yes.
Danny Lundy,
Yay.
Chrissy Avery,
Yes.
Tim Cotton, John Schick,
Yes.
yes from me. Ronnie Dickson,
Yes.
James Sceniak,
Yeah.
and Evan McMahon.
Yes.
Unanimously, yes.
Congratulations, Ms. Coquillard. You are the new outreach director for the LPIN. You may join us at the big table. Next on the agenda is appointment of committees, convention committees and bylaws are on the list. Convention committee, the vice chair is ex officio of the convention committee, so you're automatically on the convention committee. Are there any other takers that would like to be on the convention committee? Ms. Christy Avery? No. You're fine. I was looking at somebody else. Anybody else? No. You can't be. Huh?
It's a vice chair's automatically on.
Yeah, ex officio means automatic
You
because of the
still
position.
value this. I'm not gonna be able to do it next year.
Because she's already a declared candidate who would be nominated at that convention, she can't serve on the convention committee.
Can I get recruit outside help?
We need to have a couple members on it that are.
I love to learn like more on this side of it, like for sure, but I definitely need some help with that.
What do you mean by learn this side of it?
Like event planning,
Okay.
yeah,
I can help you.
yeah.
And I believe that Ms. Schillings would be available to answer questions and have guidance. She just can't be making decisions. Okay, so Ms. Coquillard?
I'm sure Kristen would be happy to answer some questions.
I will also put myself on the convention committee, not as chair, but existing on it. I think that's probably good. That is 4 members for now. The convention committee can request additional members be added as needed. We can also assign people without coming back to do tasks, so we can have volunteers doing stuff with us and for us. Ms. Schillings.
I will say we had several members in different districts who were willing to help up and step up and help. I know Sydney Bloom has been instrumental this year with her assistance in getting various sponsors, helping to coordinate things, going on site location visits to see what.
And
event-
I was having talks with her earlier at breakfast, and like, we're already
Thank
on
you.
the same page with like working together, so.
Wait to be called on. Yeah, thank you. So the nominees are Christy Avery, District 2, Liz Coquillard, District Outreach Director. Damn, that's gonna be hard. And Evan McMahon, Chair, not serving in capacity. Did you want to be on it, Libby?
I wasn't good on it.
Okay.
because I'm-
I thought, because you were shaking your head, so I
No,
didn't.
it's just, my mom has event planning experience. If I could get outside help, I'd be able to.
We can, the committee can bring her in.
I don't forget Jan.
He's automatic.
Is Tanya no?
He didn't ask.
I'd rather help Liz.
Yes. Then Danny, I get that.
No.
Um,
With the outreach. I'd rather help Liz.
Would somebody like to move that slate?
I'll move it.
Moved by Ms. Glass, seconded by Mr. Cotton. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who was it seconded by, I'm sorry, Danny?
Tim Cotton.
Okay.
The bylaws committee, this also has an ex officio with the secretary serving as chair. I would like to propose that the committee be reconstituted with Mr. Clayton Soltz, a nobody. Mr. Russell, Clayton Soltz from Grant County, Russell Brooksbank from Clark County, and Greg Hirsch from Clark County as the three additional appointed members. Yeah, it's a lot of Clark County, but they like to say, what? Okay. Mr. Schick,
I've been on it.
would you like to serve on it again, Mr. Schick? Okay, and Mr. Schick. Is there anybody else that would like to be nominated or would like to put somebody on board? Yeah. Yeah. You're not on all of them.
Just
Yeah.
read it, bylaws, so I was like, what?
Bring up where you saw that. Is there the motion to move that slate?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Lomax,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Lundy. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. It's passed. Congratulations to Mr. Soltz, Mr. Brooksbank, Mr. Hirsch, and Mr. Schick. And Mr. Sceniak excuse me, Ms. Dosbach for being appointed onto it. Mr. Soltz is familiar with how it works. Basically, you're writing a report, you're working with the mover of the bylaws amendment, making recommendations to the mover of that, and then putting them in, or making your own yay or nay, what you guys think about it, your own report on, is it good, is it bad, what does it accomplish, things like that. And then suggesting to the SCC the order in which they are presented at the convention. That's it. Because the secretary, except for bylaws.
Reported out.
Yeah, because the bylaws committee was created. And when the bylaws committee was created, it placed the secretary as the chair. I'll have to find it for you later.
No, that's fine. I was
Yeah,
reading the bylaws.
that's why the convention committee, you're automatically the chair of that. But the bylaws committee, because of the way it was written, the secretary and the authorization for the bylaws committee is the ex officio for that one. And we don't do any other committees. That's why, see, only convention and bylaws on it. And I think, Danny, do you remember where we did the bylaws committee? Was it standing rules? For Clayton, do you remember? Is it in the bylaws now? Okay. So, yeah. Can you bring, Mr. Soltz, would you mind looking up when we formed the bylaws committee?
So.
The rule on it.
We made it its current form in the standing rules in the middle of last SCC term. In an SCC meeting, and then it was moved to the bylaws approved at the last.
The language, I just wanted to show Mr. Sceniak the language that shows that the secretary is the ex officio of that committee. Moving on to appointment of teams, branded materials. This is a team that I'd like to have put together to basically design and source printed branded materials such as pop-up banners, the step and repeats, the affiliate in the box kits, canopy pop-up tents, that the counties will get themselves. We just help brand it for them. All of those different things. And I would like for this committee to have both myself, or this team, excuse me, to have myself, Ms. Schillings, and Mr. Lomax. Mr. Lomax will be responsible, reminding him about it now, that he's responsible for doing the grunt work of finding vendor quotes for materials. Is there anybody else that would like to be on that branded materials team? By the way, it will be an actual team that accomplishes things. As you see in the budget, the beginning of June, there's the purchasing of branded materials. Mr. Lundy.
Will this include issue-specific rank cards?
Yes.
Then I would request Andrew be on that.
I'm open to that. Were you accepting of that, Mr. Smith? Okay,
I would like to.
okay, this class. Anybody else? Okay, is there anybody who would move that slate? Do you need the names again?
I've got him.
Nope, okay, moved by Miss Avery, is there a second? Seconded by Vice Curran. Well, you were the one shaking your head, so I figured it was you.
Moved By Christie and
yeah.
seconded by Curran.
Yes. Or moved by Avery, seconded by Curran.
So I said,
Kind of. In a roundabout way. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, that team is populated. Comms and social. This is an offshoot from the comms director. So this committee would continue to consist of people who are going to be mostly doing the social media posts, managing that. With that, I'm pausing for a second because I'm thinking. You can't be on that team.
Help with design,
You can help with design by request, but you wouldn't be able to be on the actual team.
because it would influence.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree.
Okay, so on the team, Mr. Smith as the comms director, myself as the chair, as the keeper of the keys of all of the things. Miss Avery, who is also keeper of the keys of all of the things. And who else do we have on there?
I was on there. I don't know that I should do this stuff.
I think maybe you should if you're doing stuff with outreach. Yeah, I think it would be good. So then Ms. Coquillard. And I think that's pretty solid.
Could we?
But.
You too. Mr. Lomax.
I'm just advocating for Larry. I would like permission to talk to him about possibly
No.
volunteering for that committee.
This is only internal and it's a team. It's
Okay.
only internal because it's access to the social media accounts.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so no,
Okay.
it's only internal. Is there anybody else? Okay, anybody want to move the slate? Moved by Ms. Glass, seconded by Mr. Cotton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Congratulations. Gaming, does the, anybody object to hearing from Mr. Schultz?
Yes.
I second her objection.
That's a first. Let's move to a roll call vote. Actually, since he is, I don't need to recognize him because I asked him to look something up. So Mr. Schultz, please say.
So the bylaws actually say it needs to include an LPIN officer. If
Okay.
it's by the bylaws, it have to be the secretary.
Okay,
It has, that made sense since. the
it's
vice
been
chair-
traditionally the secretary.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just,
Okay,
can I address my question?
yeah, absolutely.
I was just showing Evan in the bylaws. My original question was that under the bylaws, it says the vice chairperson shall be responsible for all committee work of the LPIN. Shall serve as ex officio member of all committees. So I was just showing him the wording on the bylaws. That was all.
And I think that needs to be addressed and fixed because it is the appropriate role for the secretary to be the ex officio. And I thought we had specifically covered that. But maybe we didn't. Maybe we did just make it an LPIN officer, assuming that it would be the secretary.
It's
So-
a keeper of official records for that.
Will you cede that seat to the secretary, Mr. Sceniak?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
Okay.
definitely fine. I just
Okay.
want to make sure about bylaws.
Mr. Schultz?
And I think we weren't looking at officer definitions when we were adding that language
Yeah.
into the bylaws, so that probably was just.
Yep. So that issue is resolved. Gaming, the gaming team, we've done nothing the past couple of years. But we have a gaming license. I would like to use the gaming license to actually generate revenue. Interestingly enough, this location holds gaming charity events. They have other organizations in that closet that have held events here. They have held their casino chips for them here. So I would really like to actually use the license that we have and hold some bigger gaming events, maybe within the districts. We had talked about doing it, but it never moved forward. I really want us to raise as much money as possible to put in the kitty for 2026. So I'm going to be pushing hard for gaming events. So that is a team that I'll be leading as well. And I'd like to have a couple people serving, but I'm going to recognize Mr. Schick first.
I seem to remember that when we used our gaming license in the past, there was an insurance implication. We have to make sure that we at the time, had to make sure that we were insured for those events. Can I assume that's still an issue?
So we have a general policy now that covers that as long as we aren't providing alcohol.
Okay.
So we are covered for all of our events within the LPIN, our insurance, which is something we also need to talk to the new folks on the board about, our insurance policy. But we have an insurance policy that
And
covers
it
it.
covers gaming.
Yeah, it covers, yeah. Any event that we have, as long as we are not serving alcohol.
Okay.
And that means us, we can hire them to
You
serve
can hire
alcohol.
an outside
Yeah.
vendor.
So on the gaming team, I would like to have Mr. Timothy Cotton, Mr. Luke Lomax, and Mr. Haynes. And Miss Avery?
Yeah, Ryan Day also said he would be interested. in
Okay,
serving again.
that's fine, yeah. Yes. Mr. Day. Is there anybody else that would like to serve on the gaming team?
Thought it was internal.
The gaming team is not,
Okay.
because the social
no
is
access.
because it's access to the social
I
media.
understand.
The gaming team is not. We just sit and meet and yeah. And they can't actually do anything because only the chair can sign for the application for events.
Okay.
So. It was myself, Mr. Lomax, Mr. Cotton, Mr. Haynes,
Ryan
And
Day.
Mr. Day.
and Mr. Day. I almost put you on it again, Mr. Schick, sorry. Yes, Mr. Cotton.
Would this be an appropriate committee to bring Liz?
No.
Cooper or not?
No,
Because of the outreach?
it's not really outreach. Unless we're talking about like poker pros, gig events, right? This is, no, it's for us. This is fundraising for us. We ain't giving that money away. Would anybody move that slate?
I'll move it.
Anybody who's not on it, move it.
Yeah.
Miss moved by Miss Schilling, seconded by Miss Avery. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Congratulations, everybody on that team. Moving on to new business, goals and priorities. Our number one goal is to rebuild our county parties or build them back up, give them the resources and support that they need, the training that they need, help them shine a spotlight on local issues to drum up interest and support so that they can get volunteers that are being trained now on how to go door to door, how to work events, how to do that work for our 2026 candidates, including the top of the ticket, which will be the Secretary of State campaign. That's the number one goal. It does suck that the SOS campaign is the most important thing in our party, but without it, we are not a political party. And I can tell you that having just gone through a ballot access lawsuit that almost was heard by the US Supreme Court, if we lose ballot access, it will cost us over $600,000 to petition just to get on the ballot as an SOS candidate. And we won't be able to run any candidates during the 4 years between there without petitioning for each candidate individually. But $600,000 just to collect the signatures and then probably get them rejected. I don't want to do that. So I'd like for us to put everything into maintaining that. But also, I don't want to be a 2% party anymore. I want to be a 10% party. And when we hit that 10%, I want to sue the state over them forcing our private organization to be decided by outside influences and factors. So that's the overarching goal. That's how do we get there? Over the next couple of weeks, think about your district. Think about what your district needs. Think about what the county parties need to be successful. What will help them grow? Reach out to them and ask them, what do you need from this state party? What can candidates do within your district to help grow your counties and grow your district? So think about those things and set the list of your own priorities and bring those back to the SCC at our next meeting next month so that we can talk about it even more. Any comments or questions? Let's open this up to the floor. This one isn't just me talking. This is you guys talking. Mr. Dickson.
The threshold for the Secretary of State, could you explain a little bit more about what the goal is there to keep that ballot access?
We have to earn 2% of the statewide vote total for Secretary of State to maintain ballot access as of right now. Mhm. And that is the only race that matters for ballot access. In some states, it's the president, it's any state office, it may be a governor, maybe something, but it is the Secretary of State in Indiana. Why they picked that one, nobody knows.
And if we get to,
Yes, Mr. Lomax, I'd love to recognize you.
if we get to 10%, what are the implications?
If we hit 10%, one, we have to completely re-adopt new bylaws. We will lose the authority over who delegates are to our state convention. We will lose county party members will lose authority over electing officers on the county level. They will lose the authority over who is sent to the national convention because all of these things are selected in the primary. We will not be able to block people from being able to run in the primary for those seats. Which to me is outside influence interfering with a private political organization. But it also can put us on county election boards. It changes a lot of how we interact with the state election division and a lot of the things that happen. So 10% is important because we move from a minor party to what's called a major minor party. In any county where we were the top two, we would be on the election board.
Our structure basically has to change to something very similar to the GOP and Democrat.
Yeah. And as a side note, when Jeff Moore was running for Secretary of State, I rewrote our bylaws to be compliant with state law, including trying to shoehorn in some protections, some super delegates selected by long-term dues paying members within a county. Based off of how many members are in that county and what our presidential vote or SOS vote totals were in that county. And we were ready to do a strip and replace. And in that year, we scheduled a large early November post-election SCC meeting that looked just like this. It was at the Hilton Garden Inn downtown, where we were prepared to invite every county chair to come, because we were going to have to do an emergency strip and replace of our bylaws because there's paperwork that has to be filed the end of the month that we would not be able to do without amending the bylaws. So that is the thing that would have to happen in 2026. It's something that's in the back of my mind of making sure that those things are in place. There is a file in the Google Drive should I get hit by a bus or be kidnapped by ICE. That document is already available.
It's in the drive.
It's in the drive. It's in the chair's drive. Private drive.
Can I access that?
No.
But if you get hit by a bus, how are we gonna?
Yeah, can I formally
The
request,
next chair can access it.
can I formally request access?
No.
I can't.
You can, I mean, you can request all you want. Try it out. Hold on. Actually, Mr. Lomax, would you like to request it?
I would like to request access.
Request denied. But thank you for your request. Ms. Avery.
Fair.
Can we present to a body?
Thank you.
Second.
It's not a document that it's a confidential thing that needs to be held close, and there's still some things that need to be changed on it, and I would not be happy to see that document accidentally be leaked out to people because our membership will shit themselves when they see it. Because it's not cool. But yeah, and in the event, somebody does, and you're on deck, Michelle. In the event that does happen, that stuff becomes immediately available to the SCC and immediately available to all the county chairs so that they can start having the input prior to that meeting. And I had that ready to go when Jeff was running. It just unfortunately didn't materialize. But it's a good problem to have, and it's a good problem to be prepared for. And the document actually has like a couple of things like where they're redlined, and it's like, you hate this is state law, this doesn't get amended. Other things can be like tweaked and worked a little bit, but this is state law, sorry. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass. It took me 6 months. But yeah, so yeah, other priorities, I would like, we have 490 members. With 500, Ms. Schillings, you've been patiently waiting. Thank you,
I
ma'am.
was gonna speak to the request to access
Yeah.
that information. As a private working document, it's not been brought to the board as an official document,
Yes.
therefore it's not really privy to public access.
That's a much nicer way of me just, instead of me
Yeah.
saying
I would-
request denied.
I would retort that it is being stored on digital drives that are provided by the state party, which therein makes it privy to the people that are on, I would think at least.
It's
the
still a working
SCC.
document. It's kind of like me drafting an email, but
I
it's
just
in my
wanna-
draft. So
I
you want to
just-
see that too?
I just want to see how bad.
It's really bad. If
Okay.
you'd like to see how bad it is and get an example, go download the Republican Party,
For
their
the
bylaws. Because but the Republicans and Democrats, 90% of them matches. It's tweaks in the language.
Okay.
Yeah. The Democrats have significantly more super delegates, which is where I appropriated the idea.
All right.
We have 490 members. We have 460-ish different memberships. Because a lot of people have multiple memberships. One of my goals is, one, I would like for us to be, for the state party to be 1,500 members. By the end of 2026, 1,500 dues paying members. I would like for us to be within the top 5 of national prior to October 31st of 2025. That's the bare minimum, otherwise I'm gonna be angry. I'd like for us to be number 1 and kick California off, and I'd like for us to have 10% of the membership nationally so that we can be our own region. It'd be great if we had 14%, so then we could be our own region number 1 and be part of somebody else's region. That'd be great. Which is what California does. Hold on one second, Mr. Ronald, you're on deck. I would like for the 490 people who are members, for every single one of them to be a $10 monthly donor or increase their monthly contribution by $10 if they're already a donor. Doing that alone adds $490,000, excuse me, $4,900 to our monthly revenue. That is new revenue. The things that we would be able to do with an extra $5,000 a month that we know we have because it's part of our monthly pledges would be game changing for us. As you'll see in the budget, that is not calculated into the budget because I want to try to be realistic with our budget and not be based off of goals, what trends are. But I'm estimating our budget at $135,000 for 2025 in revenue. I would like that to be significantly more than that. And we'll talk about during the budget, but it's going to require the lifts and the support of the entire board to do it. That means directors, that means district reps calling people to raise money for the state party. It's not hard. I'm happy to sit with anybody to do it. Mr. Dickson will be happy to sit with anybody to do it. But we need to raise money. We need to be prepared for 2026. We need to grow our numbers, and then at National and Grand Rapids in 2026, we need to have the absolute largest delegation of anybody else. California right now has the largest delegation, and they only fill 40 to 50% of their seats because they're always so damn far away. I would like for us to have the largest delegation, and it being just a few hours away up in Michigan, we can hit the dispensaries on the way, but let's get a caravan of people going up to Michigan. I want to fill absolutely every seat, but I want to have the largest section at National so that we can fill those seats, unlike California. Mr. Cotton.
Now, one of the, the fundraising thing has been, my largest issue, and that's my largest gap in my own personal, set of tools to bring to the county party. Do we have any training or tool set that we can, help use to, here's how you form a fundraising team, here's the type of things that you need to say, here's the sources that you need to be looking at going to, just trying to formalize the process a little bit more to, give us a recipe that, we can hand to people or create teams, district wise or county wise, so that we can push for fundraising. Cause I know that's the biggest, the biggest speed bump that, I've had this last year was just having the money to be able to, do additional events. And, we were very lucky. We had a couple people that, stepped up and made sure that we had some money for some major events, but, it's, even getting some airtime or newsprint, articles, sometimes cost a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Do we have anything like that we have available?
So there's a little bit of fundraising how-to in the candidate guidebook. There's a little bit in that. Other than that, we don't really, but part of our learning module system is having some of those classes available. They just need to be recorded and added to that system. It'll be one of the things, like when we're talking and we're doing these like trainings on how to call people and ask them to be a member. We're going to record that and put them up there. Like, it's that simple. It doesn't need to be overly complicated. We just need to remember to hit record on Zoom when we're talking. And I did that the other day with Andy Burns when we were going through for 12 hours how to set up the county party websites. I recorded all 12 hours of it. So I'm going to break that into chunks, but it's there. So, Mr. Lundy.
I know there's been a lot of frustration with having a national membership for a lot of people.
Mhm.
Can you remind us of all the perks we get for being in the top 5? I feel like those perks kind of outweigh the bullshit.
So one, by being in the top 5, we end up having one of the largest delegations in the country. Right now, we were in the top 10 for the 2024 convention, and we had 34 delegate spots. And I can tell you that a lot of other states didn't fill their seats. We had people begging to be in our spot, or we had alternates there. All of our seats were absolutely filled. Being in the top 10, we automatically get a placement on the platform committee. Being in the top 5, we also get automatic placement chosen by us to go on the bylaws committee. And there are a couple other little things like that, but those are the top 2 that are the absolute most important. But also if we're in the top 5, we are also a large percentage of the membership, which means we can pick and choose who we want in our region. And, me and Mr. Lomax were talking about the regional process that we went through this year, and Indiana led that development of the super region for Region 3. But it was a lot of work and it was really hard. And there were times where it could have all fallen apart and we all ended up regionless. If we're in the top 5, we may only need one other state and we're solid. If something like that should happen again. So that's a big thing, but we have a huge voice in the party when you're in the top 5. So yeah, those are the big benefits. Those are the big perks. You have to be a national bylaw sustaining member as of October 31st, 2025 to count towards the formula for how delegations are picked. The other formula is based off of presidential vote totals nationally. Which we've never really gotten high numbers on that because you have California, New York, and Texas, which have extremely high vote numbers, but really low percentage as a state. Whereas we have low numbers, but a higher percentage of the state. And so it ends up screwing us over that way. But one of the other things that we do have is it's dropped now, but we were number one membership per capita across the country. So we were the smallest state with the largest membership. So we outranked all the other, there's technically 51 states because they count DC as a state. Miss Avery, actually, I'm sorry, Miss Glass.
I was gonna say, if you need help editing those videos, I can help you.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Miss Avery.
How do we get a list of who is a bylaw sustaining member of national or who has recently lapsed?
That would be wonderful if we could get that, Miss Avery, but right now, All National seems to be willing to give the states is a list of current members, and it's an incomplete, inaccurate, worthless list as of right now. We are going to be putting different levels of pressure on national for them to fix that and give us the information that is required to be given us, the entire data dump on a monthly basis, and for it to be accurate. Mr. Schick.
Yeah, well, my question is related, because I don't know, what actually is being counted toward this? Is it people who live in Indiana that are dues-paying members of national? Is it?
Yes, and pledge signers. So if you've given $25 to the National Party within 1 year of October 31st, 2025, and you signed the pledge, you gave $25 to national, $25 or more to national, and you signed the non-aggression pledge, you are what's called a bylaws sustaining member. That is what counts for membership when they figure up the delegation allotments.
And they don't also have to be a member of the LPIN.
No, they do not for that. To go to the convention, you have to be both the state party and national party member under our bylaws. But no, for counting for the delegation, they don't have to be an LPIN member. National only considers who is the national member for creating the delegate allocation.
And we're trusting that it would within.
No, we're not trusting. We're probably going to sue them over it with a couple other states.
Okay, because right now.
We don't trust them at all.
They can count that number.
I'm not a member according to national. And I've been a lifetime member for quite a while. So, yeah. I can share it with you guys. Yeah.
Well, if you look at triple members, all of those are national members.
And they're not,
But
not all of
national's
them
not
are in
counted,
there.
right?
I haven't had the chance to go through to see when it stopped being reported or when they started updating it. But I know the last 2 months are not in there.
But that's the beauty of the triple membership.
We
can
know.
verify that you're national
That's
member,
why
verify that
right,
you're-
that's why we created the triple membership program, was so we could say, we're getting you as both. And we know because we're submitting that information to national. So we know who those people are. And there are exactly 200 triple members in Indiana. But I know that quite a few of them are not listed as members by national, but they did take the money. So, Mr. Cotton.
I know we do have a potential data validation issue in at least our copy of city. One of the things I did last year was I went through all the expired and current membership for my county. And finding out that there was, a chunk of them had moved away over the years, they resided elsewhere. Some of them were in Indianapolis, some of them now in Illinois, so there was, at least a gap as far as the data. Do we have an effective function that we can update when we find out a member has moved so that we can at least update that so that we at least know
You can.
who we need to be calling?
You can. As a county leader or district rep, you do have the ability to update that information. So if you know somebody has moved, you can do that. And there's even the tag in Civi. If you don't have their address, you can change their address to invalid status so that you're not sending them information anymore to the wrong address. So if you don't have a current address that's accurate, you can change them to invalid, and then you won't be mailing them anything after that. Mr. Schick.
conversation that Tim had, though, I just want to clarify, we're talking about Indiana City or the national?
Indy Civi. If people move and we don't get a moving forwarding address, it doesn't change automatically in Civi, in our database. That has to be done manually.
Okay.
And like we have a person who is a recurring state party member who moved to Texas. And we've updated their address, so they don't show in our database as a state party member for any county or district. But we are taking their money and they still get their membership card. But they're not eligible to vote in anything. They can't be a delegate here. They can't, but we will take your money and send you a plastic card every year. Mr. Lundy.
And to your point, one of the things we've done is we've tried to match our membership list to the SOS data.
Yeah.
And kind of get that SOS ID tag. So that if they're updated in the voter list, if they change their address on the voter list, we can then detect and import that. That is, I don't know if that's done yet, but that's the goal we're moving toward.
No, because you were supposed to do it.
Well, I mean, we got a lot of it imported.
Yeah, we did get a lot imported, yeah.
We just have to run those numbers
Yeah.
and like compare, is this address still the same, yes or
Yeah.
no, and then we can at least flag the ones that we know are wrong.
And one of the data things that we're working on, that Michael will be working with me and Andy Burns on, is we're going to be getting from a data broker, a major national data broker, API access. So we don't even have to mess with the SOS data anymore. We're just going to be able to import that directly into Civi and have it automatically update and append anytime the records. No, anytime there, oh, that was Discord. Good thing I'm not screen sharing. Yeah, so it'll automatically append and update those records with that API. I don't know how long that's gonna take. They've told me within the next couple of weeks, they'll give us access to it. It's gonna take us a little bit of time to do that because we have to build that endpoint within Civi to be able to use that API. But within the next, let's say probably 4 months, we'll be able to have that as an automatic thing with the voter registration. I do know that there is a way to import the API from the US Postal Service to do the mail, what do they call it?
Mail.
No,
Mail.
no, when you're,
Reply services.
God damn, everybody stop. Somebody updates their mailing address with the post office. Forwarding, thank you. There is a way to import that, but they charge money for it. And I don't know how much it is or how much we would even really use it. And I don't want to waste that money on people who are just contacts and not members or recently lapsed members. Like if you're a lapsed member from 1987, I don't want to waste time on you because you're probably dead or gone. Mr. Lund.
One more quick note. I mean, this is all safety net catch-all stuff we're talking about, the automation and trying to catch
Yeah.
these problems. At the end of the day, though, if you're a county chair and you know so-and-so moved and you have their new address, please just update it. That's gonna be the
Yeah.
most accurate way for us to get it in a timely manner.
Yep.
Because when we do these API things, they sound really cool, but street name spelled this way on the voter list and it's spelled this way in Civi. You get a lot of weird manual stuff you have to review. If you know
Just back to,
Joe moved to Hendricks County and he lists this address down, just change it, and then he'll show up on Hendricks County's list too, so they can pick him up.
Yep.
Right, and make sure he knows where their meetings are.
was that time? Or no, where are we on time?
5 minutes.
Okay, and who wanted it? Who?
James had it.
James had his hand up.
Mr. Sceniak, go ahead.
Danny actually answered it within that, but thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody have anything else for item number 1 of that, goals and priorities?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to state fair. This will be a motion. If we do not secure a state fair booth this year and staff it, we will not be able to get one in 2026. And I think that that's going to be very important in 2026. I don't know that we can get one now because we were eligible last year and didn't. I don't know if they moved us back off the list or if we're considered part of the waiting list still. So it's, I don't know what will happen. I didn't want to ask them until I knew, 1, that I was going to be chair, and 2, that you guys would want to do it and would commit to doing it for the next 2 years. If not, it makes us look bad to ask. And then to say, just kidding, we don't want to do it after all. So I wanted to wait, get the approval first and then ask if we're not approved, if we're not going to be able to do it this year, I can strong arm them to demand that we do it in 2026 at least, with under threat of lawsuit, which we wouldn't because we would lose. But we push hard. But yeah, I want us to be able to at least do it if we're going, if you guys want to. I think it's important for 2026. Here's the interesting thing. It runs from August 1st to August 17th. It is closed on Mondays. Indoor is from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Outside is from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. So it's 1 hour more for being outside. The outside booth is $2,300 and it is a 15 by 10 space that we would fill. We would use a 10 by 10 pop-up and have a little space to like stack the signs outside, or whatever. Indoors is a 10 by 10 and is $2,700. The insurance add-on for us would be approximately $300 because they want a multi-million-dollar rider policy. So it would cost an extra $300 to add that to our current insurance policy to increase the payout for the security. So my motion would be, we'll make the motion and then we'll have discussion on it, if that's all right with everybody. I would accept a motion to authorize the chair to secure a indoor or outdoor booth at the Indiana State Fair for 2025, authorized to spend up to $3,000. Moved by Ms. Curran. Is it seconded?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Glass. Open for discussion. Who would like to talk? Mr. Lundy.
Is the indoor air conditioned?
Yes, it is.
That would be helpful in getting volunteers in August.
Yep.
Yes.
I will say this also. We have to pay for all tickets. None of the vendor booths come with tickets
Well, that's
or
helpful.
parking or anything. We will not have a choice on where we're placed either. That's the other thing. Mr. Schick.
Just wondering, does anyone here have experience participating in a booth at State Fair?
Yeah, I
Okay.
worked Rupert's
And-
campaign all day. My feet were bleeding.
My second part of that question was, so like how many people does it take to run the booth for 2 weeks? You need 10 people or 5 people or 20 people? I don't know how many people
A
that.
minimum of 2 at any given time, right?
Please raise your hand. No, there's no requirement, just that somebody is there. Oh, I think that every shift should have 2 people, but like you really only need 1 person in the booth. So you go walk around, get your elephant ear and your grilled corn and everything, play your games, ride the rides, whatever. And you switch off. But there needs to be 2 people assigned to the booth every shift, every day. Ms. Kokelar.
You said it's shift. Or 9 to 9 is booze.
Is indoor, outdoor is
Okay.
9 to 10. You must have somebody
But
at the booth every
everybody's gonna
hour.
be-
Yep,
So it'd be best for us to do longer shifts.
Yeah.
Like, so take days.
Yeah.
Or partner with somebody to split a shift or whatever.
Yeah.
but it's a cost for individuals.
we have to have somebody at the booth the entire time. We will also be able to buy bulk tickets, which are cheaper. So we wouldn't be paying, and I don't know what those pricing will be. Because there is a vendor ticket price for group. So we would do that.
Parking passes we can share around here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do the printed parking passes that you can share. I'm gonna recognize Mr. Sceniak first. Mr. Sceniak?
I think the biggest thing with this is staffing it.
Mhm.
My question would be, who would be responsible for staffing it? Would that fall under, Cokeler's duties or?
It would be the board as a whole, I think, under here. Actually, Mr. Sceniak, we'll put you in charge of that. No, I mean, I've done it before, so I'll probably lead the effort to make sure that this happens, if we vote to do it. But we're gonna have a sign up sheet. We're gonna have people that are gonna have to volunteer, but I would probably expect every board member needs to come and work a day, work a shift. Maybe two. I might even create a prize for the person who works the most shifts,
Great, Steve.
most hours. Alyssa Salgado offered up her camper. To let us have a camper there if we had people that were gonna come in from out of town and we're gonna work a day or two. I don't know that she would continue to do that. Schulteis, do you still have a camper?
Yes, but no.
Okay, that's a no. We might find somebody else that maybe has a camper or something. That's something else that we can do. Go ahead, Mr. Sceniak.
My second question is with staffing it, volunteers can be flaky. Could it be
Yeah.
a consideration to, pay some staff for some of the time?
I'm leery about doing that because then we have work comp liabilities. There's a lot of other things that go into that, as well as giving a benefit to a person who comes and works is one thing. Maybe not a cash payment, but something. Maybe even we find somebody, lots of money, like Mr. Dickson, who agrees to say if somebody works X number of hours at the state fair, he will sponsor $250 towards their lifetime membership. Or you get a free ticket, a full complete ticket to the next annual convention. That saves you $200 right there as a person. Ms. Kokolar was next, then Mr. Lomax.
Actually brought up, but I guess I said, I remember that was.
That was what you're gonna say. Okay, Mr. Lomax.
I was gonna say, what about providing tickets as a state party to the people that come to volunteer? Like, is there a way, like, we could put them in roll call at the ticket booth at the fair?
If you work, you get a ticket. When your shift working is over, you are still there to be at the state fair.
Right, but like, if the people that are working still have to pay the admission and the parking.
They
is there-
don't.
Oh, they don't?
We would be buying their tickets for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're not gonna buy you another ticket so you can come back another day
well,
and
I
not
mean, we gotta
work.
go on free
Okay.
Tuesday.
Mr. Shea.
So I'm still trying to get my head around what this looks like. So it's a sign up list. 15 people, give or take, who would all each work a day or two at the fair
Mhm.
and. Or is that roughly what I'm?
It's probably gonna be more than that.
If we did 4-hour shifts, it'd be a minimum of 6 people a day, 6 times 17 is
It's like 60 shifts at least.
Yeah. Not including Mondays,
not including. Monday.
not including Mondays. And
Yeah.
I think there's
Do that
three,
math.
I think there's
That's how many
3
shifts you
Mondays.
have. Okay, so you would need 25 people, 25 or 30 people.
25 or 30
Plus
people,
each
yeah.
of whom take a shift or a couple of shifts.
Yeah.
Yes.
We did it in 2012 and we had every shift covered. And actually in 2012, we had 5 or 6 people at the booth every day, all day. Now, me and Rupert were the only 2 people who were there from open to close. I don't know how it didn't happen to him, but I literally was bleeding through my shoes. It was because you're with him, it was walking around the whole time.
Get the survivor calluses.
It was something that it was bad. That and like I wasn't used to walking that much. And just so Danny Lundy is at ease, I will work at least 2 shifts. And when I say work, I don't mean sit in the chair behind the table. I will stand up and talk to people in a pleasant and friendly manner.
Far-fetched.
Report it.
Mr. Sceniak.
I think Chris is one.
Okay. Good.
My next question is, if for some reason a shift got unattended, do we lose our opportunity?
Yes. So they actually have it's unclear, but they have a point system. And if you get too many points against you, you are not eligible. You have to go back to the waiting list. Mr. Dickson, you're on.
Just on that point, I'd like to add, if we are going to vote and approve on this, the worst case scenario is what I think everybody's imagining is a no show on the tent, because aside from the access to the fair that we'd be risking, we look like assholes.
Yeah.
And that's, none of us want that. So
Yep.
I want to vote for it. I want to be enthusiastic and get sponsors there at the tent.
How many people here are willing to work at least one day? And it may be a weekday. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's 17 people out of 17 days.
And if you, actually, you needed me to come down, I would, it's just.
You're gonna work multiple days? You're gonna work 5?
No, it's actually 15 days, because the 2 Mondays.
Oh, that's right, that's right. So 15 days, 17 people, 15 days. I think we'll be able to cover it. It may be grueling and there may be a day where us as board members are there by ourselves the entire day. That may happen. But I think we can do it. I can tell you that the year that this came up where we decided not to do it, it was because I believe there were only 3 people on the board at the time who were willing to commit to work a shift, to work a day. And if the board couldn't agree to do it themselves, we didn't feel that we could get volunteers to do it either. And by my count, the supermajority of this board just agreed to working a shift. So I think we can do it. I think we can get it done. I think Larry Silver in Hancock County will be there multiple days.
Yep. I will be there multiple days.
Yeah. I committed to 2.
Yep.
Michelin's.
Just gonna make a note that pricing is already up on the Indiana State Fairgrounds thing where it's $13 ticket, general admission, $8 parking. They do have family passes, $52 for 4 admission and 1 parking, so it's a lot cheaper to do that.
There,
We
but
don't
there's
want-
a vendor ticket.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this is the upfront cost. If we have like participants, family, friends who wanna go. It's
That's
under
on the-
$20
yeah.
for the day.
Yeah.
It's not like it's $100 to go to the fair.
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, it used to be rather expensive, but they've really started. And a lot of the days now are free days too. The sad thing is you don't find out about that. Like there's a free Tuesday, but then all the other times that it becomes a free day, it's literally like the day before. They're like, oh, hey, by the way, tomorrow's free.
In the paper.
Yeah, yeah. Where everyone sees it.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone, all, you know.
Any other questions? Any other comments? Okay, so it was moved and seconded. We'll go without objection. We'll close discussion and move to a vote. This is over $1,000, so we will do a roll call vote. Whenever you're ready, Madam Secretary.
Top to bottom this one, correct?
Yep.
Vice Chair Sceniak? James.
No, I know. I'll go yay.
Treasurer Dickson?
Yes, then I'll do a couple shifts.
Yay for me, Stephanie. D1 Schick,
Yes.
D2 Cotton,
Yay.
D3 Avery,
Yes.
D4 Lundy,
Yay.
D5 Shillings. D6 Lomax.
Yay.
D7 Glass.
Yes.
D8 Haynes,
Yes.
D9 Curran,
Yeah.
Andrew Smith,
Yay.
Schulteis,
Aye.
Kokillard. And Chair McMahon.
Yes. For the record, once she gets done with this, we're gonna put this in the minutes.
You're good.
And I'm not calling anybody out. Mr. Cotton, did you say you would work a shift?
I have to see how the
Okay,
dates fall.
that's okay, that's fine. And Mr.
Same thing.
Same, okay.
Yeah, it
Depends on
Depends on
so
how bad they
the,
were needed to come down.
the entire board, with the exception of Mr. Smith, or excuse me, Mr. Cotton and Mr. Schick, who need to check schedules. The rest of the board agreed to work at least one shift with Mr. Dickson, Chair McMahon, or Treasurer Dickson, Chair McMahon, D8 Lomax agreeing to work at least 2 shifts. From the peanut gallery, Mr. Houtman, Mr. Hirsch, Mr. Brooksbank, Miss Phillips? Phipps, sorry, Margie. Miss Phipps, and Mr. Hagerman have all agreed to work at least one shift.
Current's in probably.
Okay, so add Miss Curran to the top of the list of iffy.
Okay.
Just for the record, so it's officially in the minutes. So we are accountable.
Yeah.
Mr. Smith,
I will just add, my shift will have to be a weekend shift, just as.
we'll figure that out then, just as long as you agree to work one.
Yeah.
We'll logistically juggle it. So that one passed. This is moving on to the next item, LNC meetings, Ms. Schillings. Any objection to a 10-minute?
5 minutes at least, please.
Is it a bathroom?
Just to stretch, get water.
Yeah, let's do, any objection to a 10-minute recess? Okay, the time is 1:04. Please be back at 1:14.
Sure.
So important. Very encouraging, very encouraging.
Okay, the time is 1:19 and we are back from recess. All members are present. Yes, okay. Next on the agenda is LNC meetings. This has come up a couple of times. I've had a couple other people talk to me, including one board member. We are very effective when we are present at a board meeting, at the LNC in-person meetings. Texting back and forth with our reps, there is a lag period. And when something pops off and somebody is doing or saying something stupid, sometimes the issue is completely over by the time our district rep and our district all look at our text messages. It's already over and moved on to the next thing. When we're in the room, which was very evident in August of 2023, when I was at the LNC meeting, the pre-convention meeting in DC, where they were planning where the convention was going to go for 2026. It was almost Chicago. And the Chicago people gave a great presentation. It was amazing. It was a little bit more than Grand Rapids, but it was a much better venue and a much better deal. And I tapped Dustin, Nana on the shoulder, and I said, can you ask them if we can have our own AV or if we have to use in-house AV? And he asked, and they said, no, you can use your own AV. And I said, Dustin, can you now ask if we still have to pay the union shop fees? And if so, how much are they? And she said, oh yeah, you have to pay the union shop fees, but you could still do your own AV. Well, how much is the agency shop fees? Well, for that long of an event, it'd be about $160,000. How did I know this? Because I've done production work in Chicago and I knew that that was an extremely high production fee there. Had I not been there to say that, they probably would have gone with Chicago because everybody was excited about the Chicago venue until that number was said by her. Just by the way, nonchalantly, oh yeah, I mean, it's like $160,000. And then they were like, oh, no, not Chicago. And then they started focusing on two other locations. One, I believe, was again in Reno, and the other one was Grand Rapids. Being in the room sometimes does matter. Me and Christy are talking about going up. The next in-person LNC meeting is in Grand Rapids in May. And we're talking about driving up there together and being present at that. I think that the SCC, the LPIN, should send one of the officers, at least one of the officers, to every in-person LNC meeting. I think that is, and they only do them once a quarter. And like the one with going up to Michigan, if we drove up there together, then the only expense we would have would be the hotel room for Friday, Saturday night, and then we leave and come back Sunday. This is not something to be added directly to the budget as opposed to an open line in the budget, but each one of these would need to be approved ahead of time by the LNC, by the SCC, with dollar figures and you know, everything set up. But we don't always know where they're going to be. Like, we don't know where they're going to be right now. They have not scheduled all of their in-person meetings. They just scheduled. Mr. Hirsch?
Yes.
When did they schedule the in-person meeting for Grand Rapids?
A few months ago.
So that's why I'm saying we can't necessarily put it in the budget as a fixed item because we don't know where they're going to be or when they're going to be, but something instead, when we find out, we bring it and we find out which one of the officers is willing to go or able to go and be that representative in the room. Ms. Dosbach.
Are we able to potentially approve up to a certain amount to place into the budget for those purposes? That's what we have some, yeah.
I mean, that's up to you guys. I just kind of wanted to kickstart the discussion and see where you guys wanted to go with it. One, do you even think do you want to do it? Do you not want to do it? If you do want to do it, do we want to put a line hold? How do we want to do it? Michelle.
I do believe that information is valuable, and then often we don't receive all the details as if it would be an in-person with an officer member. We do have an LNC rep though, who should be attending those. do you feel we don't get the same information from him?
No, that is not my concern. My concern is there's a lag time. And that when I'm watching the live meeting and I'm seeing something happen and I text both Mr. Nana and Mr. Hirsch, they may not see it because they are engaged in the meeting until the motion is done.
Very fascinating.
Yes. And so being there to facilitate that kind of, hey, don't do that, or hey, no, that's really good, or in the case of the August meeting, Dustin actually asked if I could be recognized to grill her on their union contracts. And that was very beneficial. There are times when they were talking about Zoho, wouldn't it be really nice if there was somebody from Indiana that was on the record during the meeting to say how awful Zoho is from a place of personal experience? You know, that way we're on record warning the members that it's going to suck. Mr. Lundy.
Just to add to your pluses, there is the fact that we're having so many membership issues and Evan has communicated with them repeatedly, putting him in the room to glare at them with the Evan stare is not necessarily a bad plan to get that resolved. On the other hand, I'm very worried about the cost. You know,
Yeah.
if they're gonna have another meeting in DC, that's not cheap.
Yeah.
So, you know, certainly an NTE would be needed and case by case, like, okay, it's gonna be $3,000, it's probably not worth it, but if Grand Rapids, a hotel room's like $300 or $400, then
Yeah.
that's probably worth it. So I think we might have to just do it on a case by case when we know where it is and what the costs will be.
That would be my preferred method, is to do a case by case, come forward and say, hey, guys, this is where this meeting is. The officers have talked, who's able to go. And here's the cost, here's a flight, here's the hotel. There's also the potential to be able to say, if we know it in enough advance, we can do things like go ask Mr. Houtman, can you pay a portion of this to secure us having an aggressive stare down representation at the meeting? Ms. Curran.
Do you want a motion now to approve something for this one on the 16th?
Have you looked at the hotel?
I think they said that they got a special rate, $139 a night.
Mr. Hirsch did say that it was, I think he said 150. What's the hotel room after tax?
Probably 150 max.
Actually, it's 100 and before tax, or after tax.
The taxes and the fees is where they get you.
165.
Going to the Missouri convention, their room is only like $145 a night, but it's like $5,000 after taxes and fees.
Motion to pay 400, 450.
Ms. Dosbach.
Should we maybe motion that, you know, whether or not we agree that this trip should go? That you and.
That would be part of the motion is sending Christy Avery, District Rep and Chair Evan McMahon to the LNC meeting in person, able to spend up to, what do you think, Christy? No, it'd be one room. She's okay with sharing a room with me, aren't you? Just not a bed. We're not gonna share a bed, right? Okay.
Two doubles.
Yeah, two doubles.
At a seedy interstate.
Yeah.
With outdoor bowling.
Ask Mark Rutherford about the time we shared a room in Vegas years and years and years ago. Yeah.
Light on.
Mr. Treasurer, can you do a rough estimate on what you think that would cost?
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday, so it's just 2 nights. We'll pay for our own food and fuel. I'll pitch in, I'll pay for the fuel.
I would recommend up to $500.
Okay.
So moved.
Is there somebody that would like to make the motion to authorize sending Ms. Avery and Chairman McMahon to the in-person LNC meeting in Grand Rapids, Michigan in May, and to expend up to $500, authorized to spend up to $500 for that trip?
I'm in the motion.
Moved by Ms. Curran. You're wanting to amend the motion?
Yeah.
Okay, please state your amendment to the motion.
As worded, you said for the trip. I thought we were voting for hotel.
Would be the trip, just the hotel, but yeah. For repealing your motion. Withdrawing
Yeah,
your
I'll
amendment.
recall.
Okay,
I will say.
seconded by Mr. Smith. This doesn't need a roll call because it's under $1,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes.
Back with a member list, please.
I'm gonna try. Ms. Glass.
And another member go, if they want to, and pay their way.
Yeah, it is not my vehicle, so I cannot say one way or the other. If you're wanting, I mean, I may not look like a prissy gay man, but I packed 2 duffel bags for 3-day event. So just saying,
Yeah. But,
I did 4 wardrobe changes yesterday. Mr. Schick.
So,
Well, but I guess I just wanna expand your question a little bit. It doesn't, can other people go? I mean, for people like Tim or me or Liz.
I think
you
she
know,
was
we-
referring
Grand Rapids is
going,
A day trip. right?
she was referring going in our vehicle, going in the vehicle. Right?
You specifically. talked about going in
Possibly,
the same-
Oh, if you want to go to the Grand Rapids event, by all means, go.
yeah, well, I
You
don't
wanna go.
want to go, but I
Okay.
would go.
I mean, you can if you want to.
Yeah, well, I don't. serve
Yes, sir.
close to Grand Rapids.
Per night?
18% added on.
Okay, Mr. Dickson, it's 164.02 per night.
Grand Rapids and, yeah, can't you? Where- I get on I-94 and.
I want
can be down by-
Okay, we're getting a little brave with the crosstalk. Let's calm it down. You are able to go if you want to go. I can't speak to going in Christie's car. But like otherwise, like you can, if you're wanting to pay your own way to go. Go.
I don't want to share a room.
Okay, what are you trying to say?
I don't like people.
Fair, fair. We're gonna go ahead and without objection, before we move on to the budget portion of the meeting, we're gonna go ahead and take the break for snacks and beverages. So let's take a 20-minute break. I know we just had a 10-minute recess, but time to fuel up with food. Is any objection? 20-minute break? Hearing none, please be back at 1:52.
Yeah, shoot, that's like less than 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah, for me, because I live right on I-94, and I know. Yeah, but there's not a great, like, good expressway for you, but.
It's already straight up to.
Yeah.
Math on it, but I didn't want you to see something close to it.
Yeah, that it was like, yeah.
What do I do now?
Right, I would just pay it, I would just pay it.
I know.
If it was, if like, let's say it was like, we said, oh, you spent $300 and it was 350, I would still spend the 350 and then ask for forgiveness.
Because.
Even if they said no, I'd pull it out of my pocket, and lay it on the table. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not out of this cheap bastard.
Right. Yeah.
I want you to travel. I was supporting. Some good news, you know.
Yeah.
But the point is, I don't want you guys.
You know, I totally took. When I was in college, I could do my own ministry. It was tired.
I took mine away already.
Okay, we are back from recess. It is 1:53. The next item on the agenda is the budget. You have in front of you the proposed 2025 budget and the sample budget for 2024. Some changes to this budget. I redid the calculations on the membership to actually be more in line with trend as opposed to wild speculation about what we would like to do. I also removed on the triple member, instead of reporting it as $60, I only reported it as 25. I didn't put in a pay section to pay out the 25 to national and the 10 to counties, because it's not reported as, that portion's not reported as income. I just kind of left it out for simplicity's sake. We can add it back in later if we want to, just as this is,
It's on.
if we got this, then we also got this automatically and we have to pay that extra portion out. Thank you. Appreciate it. Two things to note, February and March are accurate for lifetime memberships. The funny thing is I always put in 3 lifetime memberships at the convention in March. This year I took them out to zero it out because I didn't want to speculate, because it was a small off-year election that was only going to take 35 minutes apparently. And lo and behold, we ended up having 3 lifetime new memberships. So I put the 1,500 back. Yay. The convention sponsor revenue and convention ticket revenue is roughly correct. The convention report that is also with you guys is lower than actual. So it is more than that, because this doesn't include any of the auction items. It doesn't include some of the last minute ticket sales that we did. It will not include the cash fundraising that was done for the candidate support fund at the dinner, because that is not to be used by us and cannot be considered convention revenue. What'd I do?
I was just looking at the line item for the SCC meeting catering
Oh.
amount that would be specifically for you.
Oh, wow, that is there. Okay. All
Sorry, I
right,
didn't
fine. What the
answer.
hell? I'll pay that eventually.
Hmm.
Let's see. Those are some of the bigger changes. Point of fact, Mr. Lomax, for you, when you were talking to me about increasing the district allotted funds.
Yes,
Larry had misquoted as 250. It's actually 500
okay. For the district.
for the district.
Okay.
And I did not change that in here for the reasons as stated before.
Yep.
Or to you. I zeroed out our legal fund because we don't anticipate having any legal matters this year. And we only put the money in if we are anticipating a legal question. In the event that something does pop up, we pass that as a board. So we consider that at the time. Mr. Sceniak, were you asking me a question?
I am. So for lifetime membership contributions.
Yeah.
By bylaws, it's a separate account. or-
Yeah, we've just constantly ignored it.
Okay.
Yeah. We didn't remove it, but we should remove it because we don't adhere to it. It's never made sense. We just put it in the general fund. We always have. Let's see. One thing that I didn't know was Michael, is the QuickBooks, is that the price for the QuickBooks?
No.
What is the price for the QuickBooks?
Last year we paid $1,069.20, so I would recommend $1,100 for the budget.
Okay.
And that was also paid in September of the year, so that should be moved from April to September.
Thank you, sir.
What was the cost last year?
It was 1069 and what?
20 cents.
20 cents.
I meant for Google.
Okay, you can skip down to Google, go ahead.
Starting in April of 2025, I recommend we up the budget from $192 per month to $204 per month, adding an additional seat to an additional voting board member.
That would be to add outreach to the Google system. Is that under our monthly payment? Is that what it would be, or is it less if we do the annual payment?
That's excluding the annual payment divided up. Well,
He's quoting the annual payment.
Because we are paying it annually.
we pay it annually, but they charge us monthly.
And what was the
So we don't
What the
have to-
hell does that mean?
It means that
The
we're.
pricing is annual, but you get charged monthly.
Oh, okay,
we don't have
gotcha,
to pay
gotcha.
the whole
And a 1-year contract.
So it's just, so it just ends up, okay, gotcha,
And
gotcha.
what was the recommended increase?
$204 or $204 for
Right.
each month, starting in this
April,
month.
yeah.
Yeah. And then-
What was the proposed change again? You don't want to-
From 1069 and 20 cents to 1100. And moving the date from April to September. There's something in here called, oh, by the way, we got the price of agility PR down from 5,000 last year to 2,500. Ledge Tracker. This is a company that I've been talking to. Basically building for on our website to have the scorecard for current bills and how legislators vote on it, and then their contact information. But we say, well, if we oppose a bill or if we approve a bill, and then it scores them automatically based off of that. It's a startup company that doesn't do this like this. They actually do it for groups that are focusing on single issues like the Tree Huggers of America. But they're interested in doing this as something for a political party to track all the bills in the legislature and then score them. They use a lot of AI in it, so it actually does the analysis of the bill. And I was like, that's cute. We're probably going to want to do our own analysis of the bill because we're super nerdy. And if you let AI do that for us, you're literally taking the joy out of our life. But it automatically scores things. It will, if we give it topics, like specific things, it will also flag those for our attention, including changes in the bill based off of amendments. So we don't have to spend as much time looking for an amendment, like was pointed out when they amended the school board bill. They amended it so that it includes libertarians, but not in the best language possible. It would have caught that and said, hey, there's been an amendment to this bill that discusses minor parties. I'm talking to them about it either being $1,000 a year or $100 a month. Mr. Lundy.
You mentioned this would be like something on our website. I assume?
Yes.
So that people could go to and see what our opinion is on that.
Yes.
Will this tie into or have a button for our call to action software where then you could then email?
We don't use that anymore
Okay.
because that software was bought out by the Democrat Party.
Huh.
Literally, the Democrat Party bought that company.
It
And
worked really well the couple times.
it was an amazing program. I've been trying to find somebody that we can go through to get the same thing. I've been talking to Casey Crow out of South Carolina. He's built something similar, but it's held together with duct tape and a prayer.
It was pretty smooth
It
software.
was, but the price did get jacked up from $5,000 a year to $10,000 a year, and then they were
A
like,
couple of board members to shut down their email. And
Yeah.
suddenly everybody wants to be.
and then they were like, hey, by the way, you have to agree to not do call to actions for these types of things. One of them being, anything relating to challenging gun control or red flag laws. And that was when I said, when our contract is over, please leave our number. Have a good day. Yeah, it's great. But if we do find another thing, we could totally do that and
Right.
tie them in together. And so this company is like, they're building a different interface for us and building a different layout, forward facing for us. Having that relationship with them, it might be something that we can say, hey, can you pull in the Google APIs for Find Your Legislator and make a call to action button? Can we do that?
Right, something,
We might be able to work that out.
be good member benefit.
Yeah. Under the CRM, yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Cotton.
Would that just be for state issues and legislation, or would there be the ability to also tie in, maybe county level?
You're talking about the ledge tracker?
Yes.
It's only legislature. It wouldn't be for local things because they don't have APIs.
Okay,
Yeah, so like the legislature posts all of the stuff and your local county. It'd be dope if they
it's not
did,
the
but they
same, right?
don't. Yeah.
It is a good question.
Yeah, yeah.
If we had something in particular we wanted to add to that list,
I
that we've
don't
added,
think
is there a
that
way to like add a manual, is what I'm saying.
we can add manual stuff, but we wouldn't be able to add a new legislator to it because it pulls who the legislators are. So I
That's what I
don't
mean,
think
is
we would
there
be
a
able to do
manual
that.
entry option? Just something to think about. That may or may not be available, but
Yeah, local.
You don't
homegrown
ask.
issue.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's something, maybe if we work with them for a year, we can say, hey, we'd like to be able to extend this scorecard to local areas. As like maybe a separate area or something like that. That's, I don't want to promise, but it's at least a conversation that could be had. Under the CRM, the $291, that's $250 we pay to Andy each month for the maintenance. And also the time that we spend with him doing things like fixing something, or I used all of like 3 months total on learning how to build out the county party pages, which we'll be able to use to build out the candidate pages. I basically used 3 months of not talking to him about stuff all in 1 month. So, this also includes I think it's $3 a month from DreamHost and $38 a month from Liquid Web. DreamHost is our DNS server that hosts our other domains and email addresses. Like we're hosting the Allen County domain name. We're also hosting their emails. Liquid Web is where we host the CRM and the main website. That's the more expensive system. And in June, our 2-year renewal for Liquid Web comes up, and that's why that month is more expensive. Andy is talking to me on Tuesday. He thinks we can downgrade the server that we currently have and go to a lower tier plan. But that was before we were talking about the API SOS access. So we're gonna revisit that. We know we don't need to increase it for that, but I'm not comfortable with decreasing it until he tests it in production and says, hey, we can totally do this and downgrade it. But right now, I'd rather stay on a safe bet and say that we need to stay the level that we're at.
You said you need, sorry, to, you said. you
Yes,
need
Mr. Secretary,
to-
Madam Secretary,
You need to revisit down, potential to
potential
downgrade
downgrading of the
after,
he tests it in production.
and that's for the lake tracker,
No, that's for our server hosting.
the server hosting. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that's about it. You'll notice that this is a leaner budget than last year's budget was. But it also has more realistic fundraising numbers as well. I think that those are solid numbers. Any questions? Michelle's?
You still have the line items for district representative income? Or
Yes,
how realistic was that in the 2024 budget cycle?
0, there was none.
And I don't know that it's realistic to keep it included at this level for 2025.
I think that each district bringing in $200 a month should be realistic. I think we just didn't have, and I didn't prioritize talking to you guys about it. And I think that's the disconnect is we need to be communicating about doing it and making it happen. You can move to amend if you want.
I would like to move to amend that.
Okay, to what?
I don't think it's realistic to have it there.
Oh, okay, it's seconded by Mr. Sceniak. Would you like to speak to your motion to amend, Ms. Schillings?
I think that a lot of our districts are struggling with membership now, currently at this level. I would like to revisit this for the 2026 budget. I think that membership levels are low and that there have been counties disaffiliated, and to put a burden of this amount where they're struggling to maintain their own county is really not really very reasonable.
Okay, so then can we cancel out all of my fundraising? Because it's also really hard. I'm going to the same member pool. So, I mean,
Are we double dipping at that point?
I'm going to a lot of the same membership. Part of the role of this responsibility is asking people for money. That's, you know, part of a district rep's job. And I don't believe that that burden should completely then fall on me for fundraising for the state party. I don't agree with that. But you guys are more than welcome to amend and remove that as you want. Ms. Curran?
I just get the background as a new person. What are we talking about? What are we looking at? What?
It's doing fundraising calls to ask people to donate to the state party.
I think she's asking the line item.
Was that what you were asking? Is the line on it?
Totally what we're talking about, where it is on the budget.
Uh,
the amount.
Under income.
Yeah, under
Chair Hyde.
district representatives, Chair High Dollar.
Okay, so 1,800.
Yeah, yep.
Fundraising.
So it's district reps bringing in $200 a month. Ms. Coquillard.
This has been fundraising ask for a number of years now, right? I believe that this has been included in the budgets of years
Yep.
past, so. It may not be attainable, it is attainable. I don't know, I mean, we put it in there in previous years, it's something that we hope for. I don't know if it's something that we should expect. Because, I mean, I don't think we've been reaching those numbers the past year. I don't mind leaving it in, I just realistically. That there are a lot of towns struggling to fundraise for themselves right now. So I get that.
Mr. Schick.
Yeah, pardon my interest, but is it tracked? Has it been tracked in the past? Are we anticipating tracking it?
It can be. Each one of you has your own tracking code that you can use, which is just a thing that you add to the end of a URL. So when you send out emails, when you do things like that, there's all different types of ways to track it.
Has it?
No, because nobody's been doing it.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. Who here sat down and made donor calls for the state party? Right. What you did for the county party?
County.
Because you were doing membership drive for the county. Right. So it's not been done. So I'm not surprised that nobody knows how to do how to do the tracking, because it's not been a priority. And that's not against you guys. That's not against any of the members, because I didn't make it a priority either. I wasn't calling anybody or emailing and saying, hey, Chrissy Avery, you didn't hit the $200 goal. You didn't hit $10. Like,
Although I got a new lifetime.
right. But you know what I mean? Like so it's a group failure across the board for everybody, but I don't want to give up on it. Mr. Cotton and Mr. Sceniak. Mr. Cotton.
This kind of goes back to what I was addressing earlier as far as, fundraising needs, having, either, training software or training modules, something so that we can see what the expectations are. And, here's the solution in the process so that you can turn key and go and, at least we know what the goals and objectives are running forward, and we know where to find what we need for doing that. We were kind of saying earlier that, we had some training modules on how to do some of this, or would that be incorrect?
We don't have them yet. We don't have them currently. That was the statement. It was about being better on, because I've talked to several people and done Zoom meetings about fundraising, about using Civi, about doing those things. Just didn't record them. That was the problem. Mr. Sceniak, then Mr. Lundy.
Why I would support this amendment is because on a budget, we're budgeting potential profit. We haven't seen this profit in past years. So I feel we can make it a goal, but to place it on the budget as anticipated, I believe we should see prior goals met before we actually have it as a line item as income for the budget.
Mr. Lundy.
More informational. What we show is total revenue on here is almost $140,000 with a gross profit of almost $70,000, which means that's a $70,000 over what we have budgeted to spend. We have like 65,000 budgeted to spend. We're talking $34,000 between your fundraising goals and ours. That money is not being spent in this budget. I just want to make that clear. We're not depending on it. It is a goal. It's not budgeted to be spent. If we get it, great. I just want to make that clear that we're not spending money we don't have.
My final comment, is there anybody else that would like to speak to the amendment? My final comment on it is that this is at least partially somewhat an accountability tracker. Mr. Lundy is correct in what he said. But this does say that you guys are supposed to do this. And, I'm fine with it being, this is not going to hurt my feelings, and it's not like I'm going to sit there and say, well, fine, I'm not fundraising. But guess what? I'm still going to expect every single one of you to make donor calls this year. Every single person. We're going to do it. I'm going to do it with you. We're going to do it together. We're going to do it as a team. But we need a board. Boards that don't fundraise fail. And it can't be, for the love of God, if I die tomorrow, what would happen? I can't be the funding source of this organization, because I'm not going to be around forever. And if I died tomorrow,
Please stop saying that.
hey, I'm an unhealthy dude. I'm craving a donut right now. But no, I mean, we have to think as an organization. I'm gonna give you guys one kind of off-topic example. I've been talking to Michael about there are things that we need to move off of his server, because if he died tomorrow, we would be fucked. True or not true, Michael? If you died right now in this meeting, would we lose access to our website?
No.
Yes, we would.
Not-
Did you just,
listen,
no,
not
the
until
domain,
expired.
because you're doing the DNS hosting for LPIN.org, right?
Yeah.
So see, and we
This
wouldn't have
wouldn't
access to
expired.
it.
It wouldn't stop today.
Right, it'd be in a year. But so if you guys want to remove it to make the ballot, to make the budget be more reflective of what we've done in the past, I'm okay with that. It's fine. I just think that it should stay for accountability purposes, but I still expect everybody in here to fundraise. That's the thing. Michelle's.
With the understanding that you would help us and train us to do these
Mhm.
budget fundraising calls and to help us move through with those processes.
Yep.
I would be open to leaving it on the budget,
Okay,
but at this point, I've not seen any of that come
right.
directly to us.
I didn't prioritize it, and that is my fault.
Okay, are you addressing?
Sure.
Yeah, you're looking at me. I agree, and what I was gonna say was that if we expect accountability in fundraising in our budget, then perhaps we should expect accountability on our board to allot the time to train, to record, and then to put it into place so that way it's turnkey. Anybody can come in and watch the video and learn how to do it. We've been talking about this for a few years now.
Yep.
And I don't want to put it on you. It's not on you. It is on us. We all need to learn it, and we need to be first and to lead everybody else. So I am committed. If we could just pick a day of the month, like we do with our meetings, just for this next year, to build up our toolbox for everybody coming up. I mean, I'm all for, accountability in us and fundraising, and I agree with you that that's where I think we need to just get this, just do it and be accountable for it, set a date, everybody show up, let's do it, and then put it in our toolbox so people can they'll learn for themselves. So
Are you withdrawing your amendment or not?
With the understanding you'll provide proper training for us.
So is that a yes or no? Okay, thank you. And we can actually amend the agenda to add a section right now to plan the training out.
I would like to amend the agenda to add that.
We can't do it in this section. We need to wait until this business is finished, but I will recognize you as the first question after the budget's over for that.
Thank you.
Interestingly, though, we never did actually, the budget is presented. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
As amended by Mr. Schultz.
We're going to, hold on,
Okay.
no. Mr. Lundy, would you move that
What was your motion?
to
Or you
accept
want
the
me to say-
agenda, to accept the agenda?
Agenda.
Excuse me, the budget.
as
Don't
a-
worry, I'm not fucking you here. There's a process.
Okay,
I wanna,
we're gonna amend it, okay.
You're gonna amend
Still
it.
gonna-
Stop.
Yes, I would
Thank
accept
you.
it.
Is there a
as presented.
second?
As a,
It's-
No.
Yeah, not yet. He said.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Glass, recognizing Mr. Schulteis' amendment to the agenda to change the date, budget, to amend the QuickBooks Online to $1,100 per year and changing the date from April to September. Is there a second for Mr. Schulteis'
I'll
agenda?
second.
Same time.
Actually, I'm gonna take Mr. Smith's as a second. All those in favor of the Schulteis QuickBooks amendment, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Okay, the second amendment for Mr. Schulteis was to, I've got it written and I'll help you.
Good people.
You just have to say the Schulteis QuickBooks and
I was-
Schulteis Google amendment to increase the price from 192 to 204 a month, starting in April of 25. Is
So
there a
moved.
second?
second.
Seconded by Ms. Schillings. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, we are currently on the main motion of the budget. Are there any other amendments to the budget? Mr. Schulteis?
I believe our insurance cost is not exactly $1,000, so I would move to amend that.
I talked to him,
closer to our actual cost.
I talked to him about it and he said it's it's less than 1,100.
Okay.
So we could amend it to 1,100.
That would be fine.
I can't remember what line item, where that is in the line item.
It's on the front page.
No, thank you. Insurance, there it is. But we also don't typically pay that until like June or July, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so would you move to amend to 1,100 and move it from April to June?
April and May, I believe it's earlier than June or July.
I mean, where it's at is fine then. If we're not
Yeah.
sure, we can just leave it where it's
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
But how about just increasing it to 1,100? Okay. Is there a second to that? Seconded by Ms. Curran. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, so the insurance is updated to 1,100. Any other amendments to the budget? Sceniak?
I motion to amend and remove the line item lifetime members from budget and additionally funds placed in a separate account per the bylaws.
Then you wouldn't remove all of it because it's only a portion of it. The entire lifetime fund does not go into, the entire lifetime does not go into the separate fund. Only a portion of it does.
So, well, okay, I motion to remove the line item from the lifetime members from the budget and all funds placed in a separate account per bylaw.
That's not the bylaw. Bylaw does not require the entire lifetime fund to go in, the entire lifetime payment to go into a fund. It's a portion of it.
Protector. Or it's in the video room, yeah.
Is there a
Mich-
reason why the bylaw says that?
Because Greg Nolan believed that it was important for there to be a legacy fund.
Okay.
And his church did that. So he brought it up at every meeting for like 2 years.
Is it
Until
like
people
an
finally
emergency
came in.
fund?
No,
No, it's not.
nope. Because the money ultimately ends up going back into the general fund after a certain period of time.
Okay,
So,
It was annual too, wasn't it?
yeah,
So, yeah,
so what would the legacy funds do
nothing. It sits
Yeah.
there in case of something that you
Okay.
can't touch.
until it rolls in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
if I remember right, because I was there for that one.
Yeah.
And I wasn't on the board, I don't think, but I was there. And it was like $200 would go into the general fund immediately.
Yeah.
And then the other $300 would come out $25 a year for 6 years.
It was something
Which
like
was
that.
like,
And it was,
so right now we would have like $400 in this fund or something.
it's an accounting nightmare.
Right.
But Mr. Dickson,
What I would say as treasurer and working with these types of counts is that the spirit of that bylaw sounds great and everything. A lot of entities that are multi-generational entities
it's
will
in
do
that
something
legacy
like that.
standing rules.
Benjamin Franklin did it, you know, and set up this massive.
And we may have moved
thing.
it last year.
It only works well under two conditions. One, you have to have velocity of people doing it all the time. And to Evan's point, the accounting, incoming treasurer, I don't want to set up a separate account where I'm monitoring $20 going into a separate account and seeing if there's $65 there 2 years from now and have to explain in a meeting on Sunday for 45 minutes where the $45 is. I just don't want to do it. I don't think it's worth it. And I think you leave it in the general account. And then later on, if we get big enough, we can set up aspirational accounts for war funding and legacy funding. That's all down the road. I just don't think we're there.
I'm sorry, yes, Ms. Schillings?
Are we able to amend the standing rules within the SCC meeting?
Yes. It takes, it's a standing rule. It's not a bylaw. It can be amended, but it takes, I believe it's a 3/4 majority. But it can be amended. It would not be in order at this time.
I know, that's why.
It would be in order after this business is done. Would you like to be recognized again? Yeah.
Appropriate.
I'm sorry.
Do we have
Miss-
emergency? Sorry, you didn't
Okay.
recognize.
I meant to, I looked at you and said yes, but I meant to say Ms. Glass.
Okay. Do we have an emergency fund or anything
No.
that would like a savings account that's just for? I don't know what an emergency fund would be for a political party, but
Not really.
okay.
We do have a ballot, not a ballot fund, a legal fund.
Uh-huh.
And we have a separate bank account for that. We're just zeroing out the budget. So we're not
Okay.
adding any money to that fund this year.
Okay.
But we've also like never used it
Okay.
type of thing.
I rescind my motion.
Okay, the motion is off the floor. Are there any other motions? Any other motions for the budget? Any other amendments to the budget? Any questions about the budget? Before we vote on the budget, I would like to hear from the treasurer. And actually, I'm gonna do something crazy here, and I'd like to hear from the former treasurer. What do you two, in whatever order you would like to be recognized, think of this budget?
I think it's mostly decent. I do know that we do have some miscellaneous expenses that are not called out as line items. I don't know if we want those to be part of the chair's discretionary fund or if we want to have further amendments. You know, we spent approximately $250 on domain name registration, for example. Do we need that to be a budget line item, or how do we want to handle it? I know that was previously on our budget, but I
It
don't
was,
see
you know
that.
what, it was, and it wasn't in it, because before it was under technology. Um. I would be open to an amendment to add a line that's just. Because we don't even have a miscellaneous technology on here. Or would you like,
Miscellaneous technology is fine with me.
okay.
If you even wanted, I could make an argument that under a certain dollar amount, a line item is not even necessary.
Well, so it is, well, I would say for this particular thing, because that one item. That was 100, like one of the domain names, the dot. Vote is $156 a year.
Yeah.
And the dot team is like $60 a year. And so having that in there where that's actually discussed, because the board may say, you know what, we don't want the dot vote anymore, because it's 150. I literally got shitty with Switchboard front desk because they wanted to charge us $5 a month for a convenience fee, $8 a month for a convenience fee of us paying our rent online via credit card, which is how we're supposed to pay our rent. And I was like, no, I will cut you a check every month and save that $8. So, I mean, I think that is within reason to say it's something we do need to discuss, because it is, we may not want to keep the dot vote or the dot team. So I put, how about domain names? Just a line item for domain names. So an amendment to add a line item to technology, let's do it above CRM. For adding domain names, and I would probably give us like a $500 a year budget on that. We add a lot of weird domain names, like we buy the domain names for some of the county parties and stuff like that. And I would put it in April, just so that it's in April or March. Let's do it March. And then it just carries through the rest of the year. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand that? Okay. Do you want to make that your motion, Michael? Do you move that?
I move that we add a line item under technology above CRM for domain names for $500 in the month of March of 2025.
Seconded.
Seconded by, I'm gonna take Mr. Dickson. Any amendment to that? No. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Oh, the ayes have it. Yeah, I was about to move on.
Need additional amendment for the single month where our rent was $808?
I don't think so.
Okay. Other than that, I don't have any further discussion over the budget.
Mr. Dickson?
My brief comments will be that I like that I reviewed last year's budget against this year's. I like kind of a correction towards kind of realistic. Ideally, when you look at a budget of any entity, you want to look back a year and at the end of the year go, how close were we? And so that'll be something that I'll be involved in next year when we go look at this and go, all right, how close were we and where were we off and why? Because that's where we're improvement always. But I like the budget.
Ms. Avery?
How close were we last year to our budget?
Not.
Yes.
Off about 40-something%.
Mr. Lomax?
Yeah, I have a specific question about the workshop technology fee, that's $616.
That's
Last
the,
month.
that's the LLM and the forum that we're not using, but that we're going to be using.
Okay.
That's the calling and talking to Lori and doing, calling and talking to Ms. Schillings and doing a training video one-on-one on how to do a donor call. Gets recorded, goes in the LMS.
Okay.
Michael is going to do a recording of how to use the campaign finance web portal as a treasurer. That gets recorded and added into a masterclass on being a treasurer. We've just never used it, but we have it. We just need to start using it.
Okay.
And I will say this, that Missouri has already asked about being able to access it. And I said, yeah, it's free for our members, but we charge for out-of-staters, freeloaders or interlopers. And he said, we'd pay for that. This is one of those things where when every state says we want to do it like Indiana does, we can say, cool, the masterclass is $200.
Monetize.
Yep. Come learn how to run a county party meeting.
We build it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Let's wait.
Okay. Was Mr. Schick first? Okay, Mr. Schick.
Just, could you repeat what you said? What training were you talking about? You said it kind of quickly and I missed what training.
So like, when I do a training with Ms. Schillings on how to do a one-on-one donor call.
Yeah.
That gets recorded and then would be put into this LMS, learning module system. So that,
Which exists today.
yeah, we have it, we just aren't using it.
Oh. Here.
Ms. Schillings?
Certain question, we did pay for that last year as well,
Yes,
and this year,
yes,
and it's for the purpose of recording meetings.
no. No, it's not. It is a it is a learning module system. It is breaking things down into classes. It's not a recording system. We've got Zoom for that.
Right.
It's for being able to do a master class on how to be a treasurer and having multiple modules for taking the, learning that program and then taking tests. But it also allows us to grant specific access to it. So like if you are an LPIN member, you can access it for free. But if you're not an LPIN member, you have to hit the subscribe button and pay the $100. One of you at the end of the table had your hand up. Miss Avery.
Shop technology, right?
Yes. Mr. Lundy.
Quick comment. I know you and I have recorded a couple for CRM. I think it's building a county affiliate or something.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's been uploaded yet, right?
No.
What do you need from the people listening to help you get that done? Do you need video editors? What do you need?
Honestly, I need. The thing that I think that would be the most helpful for me is a clear honestly, just from this board. I don't want to hear from other people. Priorities.
Like what modules do we want to see?
What are the things that you guys want to see first? And when I see something consistent, I can sit down and dedicate a couple hours to recording it.
Okay.
The editing it is not difficult at all. Really, it's really not. The one with me and Andy, which would be a private thing that only, certain people like the tech team would be able to see that. Having a 12-hour long fucking Zoom recording is not a great idea. Having that broken up into sections, because there's also a significant period of like an hour and a half where me and Andy were like complaining about something, or him going, why is this not refreshing? we don't need that. But the list of priorities of what you guys would like, I think would probably help me the most.
Time.
Ms. Kokolart,
He's.
that's a good idea. Yeah. Mr. Lundy,
Motion to extend the budget by 20 minutes.
there's a motion to extend the budget by 20 minutes.
She just said time, so.
I did.
I don't think for that. I don't think we need 20 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes.
By 10 minutes. Is there any objection to extending this item by 10 minutes? Hearing no objection, it is extended by 10 minutes. Any other questions or amendments to the budget? Hearing none, we'll go to a roll call vote. Yeah, I told you we didn't need 10 minutes.
You never know, Michael might find something else.
To approve the budget,
Yes,
um,
as amended.
as amended. Kokolard.
Aye.
Schultheis,
Aye.
sorry, Comms Director Smith,
Aye.
D9 Curran.
Aye.
D8 Haynes,
Yes.
D7 Glass. D6 Lomax. D5 Shillings. D4 Lundy.
Aye.
D3 Avery,
Yes.
D2 Cotton.
Aye.
D1 Schick.
Aye.
Secretary, aye. Treasurer. Treasurer, okay, Treasurer Dickson, aye, okay. Vice Chair Sceniak
Nay.
and Chair
Yes.
McMahon.
Okay. Ms. Shillings, you requested, the budget passes. Ms. Shillings, you had, wanted to be recognized.
I would like to amend this agenda to add a topic of how scheduling training.
Scheduling training.
Think about.
Okay, you want to add 10 minutes, right now, I'm assuming?
That would be.
Okay,
Second.
okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Kokolard. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Yeah, it's your time. Okay. I was gonna be like, go ahead. But, okay, so let's talk about scheduling training. Do you guys want to do a group training and then I do a one-on-one recording with somebody else? How would you prefer to do it?
Be good, we do, maybe. How often do we want to commit to these group trainings? You personally, how much time can you commit to training this? Is it like a once a month?
I can do a 1 hour twice a month.
So by week? 1 hour.
Yeah.
Can we all commit to that?
I see your thoughts.
It's on the top.
I mean, I will make myself available into the early evening. Not Sundays.
Mondays are great.
I won't do anything past 8:30 PM. So Eastern time. So by that time, we would have to be done because I will log off to go to bed.
So maybe the second or third.
I'm just pointing to you because I know you want to be heard. Hold on one second, Mr. Dickson.
I have a question to clarify. This training, this is for like all people get money, right?
I think what the motion that was, or what Ms. Kokelard's going for is just all around, we have a different group training topic every time, twice a month, but focusing, at least initially, on fundraising.
Thank you.
Would that be correct?
I think
Accurate?
that would be sufficient. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Ms. Glass,
I would prefer if it would be, if we're gonna do a Monday, to not do a Monday and a Monday, like do a Monday and a Thursday. 'Cause Monday's not great for me, but Thursdays.
we would also record them and make them available privately for the board as well. I could do that. We could do Monday break and then Thursday. And then break and then Monday and then break and then Thursday and then Monday and then break and then Thursday and then break. Does that, I don't know how to word that other than the way I just did. Ms. Schillings?
I agree with the Monday.
Uh-huh.
But I would also like to say that particular week, could it be, you can attend one of the two?
I don't want to do 2 in a week.
We'll do first Monday, third Thursday.
Right. What I'm saying is like week 1, Monday.
Yeah.
Week 2, nothing. Week 3, Thursday.
So every other week.
Week
do
4,
something.
right,
And then we do have once a month an SCC meeting.
on Saturdays.
Could we just say, okay, we're done with the SCC meeting, now we're gonna spend 1 hour to do training immediately after, since we've already scheduled time off?
I don't want to do that for my own personal sanity because I am in the office from 6 AM until 8 PM, Monday through Friday, working, and then doing the SCC meetings on Saturdays. I like to spend some time with my family. So when I'm done with it and my business, so when I'm done with the SCC meeting, I want to be done. So that's my personal is I don't want to do that. Mr. Lomax.
So are we saying like the first Monday of the month and the third Thursday of the month?
I don't think so.
I think it's easier to remember.
Yes,
That's better than every other week.
Okay, how the fuck did you word that?
First Monday, third Thursday.
So maybe.
So the weeks, the months that have 5 weeks in it,
You would
Just get a bonus.
you would just get an extra week off.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be easier.
I
to
feel like
schedule
I'm
that way.
being duped here.
No, it's
You're like, you're gonna get an extra break, Evan, but there's one month
Yeah.
where you're gonna work 7
It's
times.
only
Yeah.
Ms. Dodgeball.
So I think the big question here is do we want to have trainings to be once a week period, or are we good with 2 times a month? Because that's essentially what it would be.
It's times a month would be sufficient.
Training, there will be individual training.
Yeah.
That'll be recorded as well, so if we're committing ourselves to 2 trainings a month, that'll be put online. To look at.
And that's what I'm trying to understand. Okay, thank you.
The one-on-ones, so the group ones would be available for us.
Yeah.
And maybe you can send it, I don't know about sending it to a county chair or whatnot. But then I'll pick one of you who's especially bright and capable. To do a one-on-one recording that then goes into the learning module. Does that make sense? Okay. Because my experience is group trainings are not great for being used as training. They're just not.
And thank you for committing to board excellence. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. This is gonna kill a lot of my time, but I am
Sounds-
dedicated to it. It's a lot of time. Yep, we're gonna suffer along together. 1 hour. Do we want to do, let's do 6:30 PM? Does that work?
Yes.
Eastern.
3 months.
No, I am not a guy that's going, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. Ms. Dogbach,
Just for clarification, so
Eastern? Oh, okay.
first Monday, third Thursdays, 6:30 PM Eastern time
For 1 hour.
for 1 hour.
Yep. The one-on-ones will be scheduled at mostly my convenience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Schick.
I was wondering if secretary or somebody could send us an invite for that, or do we
Well,
just all individually?
I'll schedule the invites,
Okay.
and make it a recurring thing.
Okay.
Ms. Curran,
Location.
Zoom,
Thursday.
Zoom.
We're not gonna-
I mean, if you want to, I will be in the office doing these. If you would like to come to the office and sit next to me, you are more than welcome. And that is actually another thing. Ms. Glass, Ms. Schillings, Mr. Lomax have come to the office before to do kind of one-on-one trainings, to have the handhold, I sit over your shoulder and show you how to do something. if you would like to do that, don't just show up at the office because it's a stacked day 9 times out of 10, and I might not be wearing pants. But say, hey, I'm gonna be in town X, Y, and Z day. Can I come down? Can I come and spend an hour to go over how different ways I can send these recurring emails? Or I'm having a hard time doing, it was totally you. Or I'm having a hard time targeting this specific group. It's not working for me. I know I'm doing something wrong. Can you show me I'm gonna be here? Like, that's, come in, drop in the office and do that. Also, you guys can come to the office and work. So if you're in Indianapolis and you don't have to sit in my office, all of you have access to the co-working space downstairs. So you can come and work there too, just FYI. So what happened was anybody who hadn't used their key in 4 months was removed. And I said, that's bullshit. That hasn't happened. And then I remembered the door's always open for the business meeting. So yeah, you guys haven't been using your key. So make a point of whenever you come to the business meeting, the SCC meeting in person, go ahead and just log into proximity and act like you're unlocking the door, even if you don't have to, because otherwise it will automatically
You'll
remove
need
you.
to let the new people know how to do that too.
Yeah, you'll get an email about it.
Even the old people that haven't used it several months would
And you can do it from home, by the way.
Can unlock
You-
the door from-
You don't have to be there. It's all just an app.
But it's
Oh, so
It's
proximity.
literally
I
named
know.
proximity.
I'm well aware. Ms.
So
Avery,
it's just logging into proximity.
Don't-
It's not
don't
actually
do
unlocking.
yes.
I don't.
No. Well, I don't know that. You may need to unlock the door. I'm not sure. Mr. Hayes.
I'm more than likely gonna start working 12:30 to 8:30, so I'll never make one.
We'll have
Next
a
week.
recording.
Will you watch the recording?
Yeah.
Okay, there you
So
Just
are
letting you
we-
know.
Okay.
So are
Ms.
we
Potts.
gonna make a requirement, like we the SCC meetings, or, cause if he can't come to them,
I
then
don't think so.
Okay.
But
strongly.
I can quiz him. I can quiz people that weren't there.
Giving you the topics that need to be covered.
I mean, we can quiz Mr. Haynes and say, okay, what shirt did Evan change into during the meeting, during the thing? Yeah.
Video.
Yeah.
schedule the, Fundraising call, afternoon after a meeting or something.
Miss Avery,
I just opened my proximity app and I still do not have any keys.
because I have to load everybody. When they removed everybody, I said I wasn't gonna mess with it until after the convention. But I think I can go in and add everybody back in. I don't think we need a motion for this. This is just a discussion, but I'll put all the stuff up. But I don't think we need an actual motion unless Ms. Schillings, you have a motion that you would like to.
Do you need me to make a motion that
No.
we do this? I think it's just a point of order of things we'd like to do. You want to also make a second amendment to the amendment.
Time.
Oh, okay. Ms. Schillings, go ahead.
I would like to take time to amend our standing rules.
Okay, how much time?
I think 10 minutes might be a good start, depending on discussion.
Okay, you do have to state what you are wanting to amend. Wait, no, you said you want to,
Take
move
time
to amend the agenda for a 10-minute discussion on
amending.
amending the standing rules. I think you actually need to take up a motion to amend the standing rules. That's what you're doing. Ms. Schillings moved it. Is there a second?
Aye.
Second by Ms. Curran. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. So we are adding 10 minutes right now to the agenda to take up a motion to amend the standing rules. Go ahead, Ms. Schillings.
My motion is to strike chapter 5, chapter 6 finances, section 2. That states exclusively to earmark contributions from the lifetime membership fund. From our standing rules.
Seconded by Mr. Sceniak, by Vice Chair Sceniak.
Do I need to speak to my motion?
Yeah, is there you seconded it? You may speak to your motion.
I believe that it's very complicated and unmanageable the way it is written. And I think it's an undue burden on our treasurer to maintain this.
Is there any other discussion? Anybody who would like to speak to the motion or against it?
Can I have?
I heard you snapping your lips like you wanted to say something. No, okay, Mr. Dickson.
I echo the sentiments and I would add to it that as treasurer, one of my goals is to build, a war chest, to build it, make it larger, to have a savings account. So I think that was the spirit of this rule originally. And I still think that's an important goal and that's going to be on my priority list, just not this way. This way is just an accounting nightmare.
Yeah. Which is legitimately why we never did it. Ms. Aber.
Can we please call it a peace chest, not a war chest?
We can call it all kinds of. A torso.
However, it's the money we use to go to war.
I believe that's a secondary discussion to
Yeah.
what this amendment is. To our
Yeah,
standing
it
rules.
is.
Yes.
Any other discussion?
Just need her to repeat what the actual motion was.
The motion is to strike from the standing rules, chapter 6, section 2 in its entirety.
Yes.
Thank you.
And it was seconded by Mr. Sceniak.
I got that.
This does require a roll call vote. And Mr. Lundy,
Can I request that it be read so that people who don't have it up on their computer know what we're talking about?
would you like to read it, Mr. Sceniak?
Yeah, I think it should be read, so we know what we're striking.
Would you like to read it?
Sure. Contributions marked for lifetime membership will be placed in a separate account. A maximum of the greater of 20% or $100 of this account may be withdrawn during any fiscal year. The state central committee may exceed this withdrawal limit by a 2/3 vote of the entire membership of the committee.
I want to see your thing for a second here. I don't have them handy.
Next page, right next to my ad.
No, that's not what I wanted to look at. Mr. Schick, go ahead.
I'm just wondering, is this more than rules change? Does it also involve a accounting change?
No.
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 Okay,
We've never, to be fair, we've never done it.
okay.
Even when Mr. Nolan was on the committee, we didn't do it. And it was his thing and we never did
Very good.
it. That is legitimately what happened. Fine, if you will be quiet about it. And then he voted, like, you remember that meeting when when the budget was there and literally we had just started and he said, move to adopt the agenda as presented. And I'm like, are you serious? Yeah, it was crazy. Budget, did I say agenda?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I'm trying to find, like, it's been so long since we've done a standing rules amendment. I'm trying to find.
The vote requirement.
Thought it had
The
to
vote
go
requirement.
lifetime membership.
Isn't it on? I'm sorry, what?
No, I'll look at it later.
Oh, you have something?
I don't think it takes place till, it's fine, go ahead.
I mean, it can also be immediate, but she can say to take effect immediately if necessary, but we are not strict adherence to Roberts, things like that. It's okay. No one's going to sue us over it.
That's fine.
Yeah, we don't have to be 100%. I mean, I try to be pretty precise, but it doesn't have to be absolutely. Here it is. Oh, hey,
2/3.
2/3 is what I
Thank you.
see too.
Section 3 of
Yeah.
Article 7.
by the SCC.
Yes. It could be.
By the
Standing
two-
rules of the LPN shall be in harmony with these bylaws. What we're
Yeah,
supposed
yeah,
Each business meeting or by a 2/3 vote of the entire membership of the SCC.
yep. And so what that would mean would be if 3 people were absent today, they would still be counted. So that's what that, oh, sorry, I totally lost your place. No, I didn't. It's like-
You're good.
So it's a 2/3 vote. So you should calculate what 2/3 is. Or you can ask the treasurer, who's a banker.
2/3 of 13 of us?
No,
15?
15. No, it's 16. 16.
10 1/3.
We need 10 plus to do that.
Yep.
So 11 would be the pass.
Yes. whenever you are ready to call the roll.
Vice Chair Sceniak,
Yes.
Treasurer Dickson,
Yes.
Secretary, aye. D1 Schick.
Aye.
D2 Cotton.
Aye.
D3 Avery,
Yes.
D4 Lundy,
Aye.
D5 Schillings,
Aye.
D6 Lomax,
Aye.
D7 Glass,
Nay.
D8 Haynes,
Yes.
D9 Curran. Comms Director Andrew Smith, or Smith,
Aye.
Tech Director Schulteis,
Aye.
and Outreach Cocolard.
Chair
And-
votes aye.
Chair, yeah.
Okay, so that passes and it is stricken from that. We'll need to update. And I'll show you how to do that. How to update that on the website and everything. And then you'll need to make a new standing rules document that states what was changed and when it was changed. Next item on the agenda is the SCC schedule. So we meet monthly, always on a Saturday. If we are meeting in person, it is at 801 Shelby Street in Indianapolis. And it always starts at 12:15 or 12:30, just FYI. If we are meeting remote, it's 10:30 a.m. remote on the Saturday. Next month should probably be a remote meeting. And the way we typically do this is we just go month by month. We look at our calendars. Ms. Glass.
I would like the first or fourth Saturday.
Brain dead here. I'm having a hard time figuring out which button is my calendar. The fourth Saturday would be April 26th. Is there any objection to April 26th at 10:30 a.m. online, remote?
I probably won't make it. I can get a proxy, but I probably won't.
April 26th is the proposed. We're gonna do all the proposed, kind of like finalize it and then vote on a final schedule at the end. Is everybody clear on that? Okay, April 26th, remote. At 10:30. Let's do May. Yeah.
24th is Memorial Day weekend. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's-
let's get that.
We don't have any candidates really, but people may be doing parades and stuff for the county parties, so
That one has a fifth Sunday or Saturday.
yeah,
so-
there's the 31st. And remember, the second Saturday of the month, for those of you who are new, is Service Saturday. So at least one district rep would be absent from a meeting if it was on the second Saturday.
31st.
31st,
I'll not be able to make the 31st.
you won't be able to? That's okay. What we'll do is
Go
we'll
with me.
record the meeting and then you can just take notes after that. Mr. Haynes, I'm sorry. It's fine. Yeah, it's kid friendly. Yeah.
And she has a tab.
Okay, so May 31st in person, 12:30 in Indy.
It's 801 Shelby, right?
Yeah,
What time?
12:15. Be in the room at 12:15. We'll start at 12:30.
26 was 10:30?
Yes.
Cause it's remote.
Okay.
Morning remote, afternoon.
Well, and there's a group that meets there before us on Saturdays and they have it blocked for like 5 years. But the day they don't, buddy, I'm gonna snag it.
Gives time people who have to
yeah.
drive.
Yeah. June. June 28th, virtual remote work for everybody?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, so that's June 28th, remote.
10:30.
At 10:30.
When's Spike's birthday?
July.
19th or 26th.
I'm good.
I would prefer July 19th.
Say I will be out the weekend of 26th, so.
Okay,
July 19th.
July 19th in person.
The state fair starts that weekend.
Yep. You'll be absent. Okay,
Is that July 19th?
July 19th in person. Yep. You can also, if there's an emergency or something like that, you can also remote in. That doesn't mean that it's an excuse to not come to in-person meetings. It just means if you have something like, hey, I have a soccer game that I have to go to with my kid, but I can hold my phone up. Was it softball? Michael, what was it?
Baseball.
Baseball. You can do it from the sideline. August, I would recommend that we push that to the end of the month because we're gonna have a whole bunch of activity at the beginning of the month and we're gonna need a little break.
Are basically the.
Null and
state fair,
void, yeah. So how about
30th?
August 30th?
the remote meeting.
Is everybody okay with that? August 30, remote, 10:30?
That's Labor Day weekend.
No. We don't care about
Because
workers.
it's remote. I'll be camping, but I'll be remote.
September. Hey, we can't schedule it on my birthday this year. That's awesome.
I'm
Motion to
good.
move
Any
it
of
to
those.
Devin's birthday, whatever that
Even if it's a Tuesday.
Day, whatever that is.
It is, it's Wednesday, it's the 17th.
That vibration needs to stop.
Truck.
It's a trap.
September 27th.
Be in person, right?
Yeah,
It's some asshole with a big speaker. Yeah.
And.
September 27th.
27th
27th,
in
12:15 in person.
Yeah, we could do October 25th.
That's a remote one.
Yes.
That is remote. I am going to be from the 1st of November through basically the 17th of November unavailable. I have a week and a half conference in Vegas. And then after that, I've been asked to go to the South Carolina State Convention to teach them how to be better.
So that leaves the
29th
22nd.
is Thanksgiving, so.
Yeah. It's only the 22nd.
Yeah.
And that one's remote.
We make it.
We can make that one remote because we have the holiday party in December.
Yeah.
So let's do remote November 22nd
Yes.
at 10:30.
That means the holiday party will be the 20th, so that'll be the meeting that day too.
Holiday parties usually earlier.
We can do the 13th for the holiday party.
I like that.
Okay,
Because inevitably Marion County is going to pick December
yeah.
for their
For
service
the
Saturday.
service Saturday.
And they're gonna do it on whatever help the day they want to do it
Yeah.
on, because they don't like to follow rules.
True story.
That's true.
It's okay.
It's, yep.
I don't either.
So December 13th would be an in-person, but it's also the holiday party, so it goes much later. So that meeting we typically start is around 2:00. We get through the meeting and then we set up for the holiday party, which typically starts around 5. There's typically a break for food in between. Because we typically don't have that much going on in the meeting. But then we have the party, which starts at 5 and will go until like 10:00 at the latest.
At 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
So December 13th. 2 PM in person. Holiday party after. You're not required to stay for the holiday party, but we'll be very sad if you come to the meeting and then leave.
What time was that meeting?
2 PM.
There's cookies there. You should go.
Yep, last year we built.
Okay, January.
So.
Yes, Mr. Schiff.
3:30 and then you said 2.
2.
Okay.
2 PM for December 13th.
Okay.
With the holiday party to follow.
Lunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, January.
24.
24.
That works for me. That would be a remote. February.
First.
28.
I prefer the 28th.
It is in person. It, I think we should schedule it earlier in the month because we don't know when the convention's gonna be, and we're going to want to have a meeting prior to the convention.
So the 7th would be.
Yeah,
7.
February
That's only-
7th.
That's only 2 weeks after the other one, but
That's,
Yeah,
is what it is.
Well, also the convention, having meetings close together is fine. because
Yeah.
we're gonna be-
We're gonna
Yeah.
need an update ahead of.
Yeah.
the convention. So I'm okay with the 7th myself.
That's in person.
In person,
in person.
12:15.
So that's our pre-convention meeting.
That is our, not necessarily our pre-convention meeting, because we don't know when the convention will be scheduled for,
In person.
right? But if we need another, like, I don't want to put a March meeting on the books for now, because we know the convention is likely to be in March.
Right.
Memorial Day
Always
weekend.
Memorial.
It's always Memorial Day weekend.
23rd, 22nd. 23rd.
But I have to get our delegates in. Plus, we want to have as much time for our nominees to be the candidate.
Or
Yeah, I
February.
mean, as early as we can get.
Or
is
even
the- No, we can't. I don't think we can do it in February. I think their bylaws require it to be March, April, or May. I'm pretty sure.
I think I just read that.
I think we had
Yeah.
to amend it to include March.
We did have to, yeah.
Birthdays.
Um,
Would not be at-
So my feeling is we don't schedule a March meeting, but we do keep it open depending on when the convention is gonna be. We might have a special remote meeting, but it would be remote. A special pre-convention, pre-convention remote meeting, but we're not gonna schedule that now. Okay, so to recap. The proposed schedule. And I'll move this, moving for the SCC to meet on the following dates and times and locations. April 26th to meet remote at 10:30 AM. May 31st to meet in person at 12:15 AM at the LPIN adjacent HQ. AM, well, PM, yeah, thank you. June 28th to meet remote 10:30 AM. July 19th to meet in person at the LPIN adjacent HQ at 12:15 PM. August 30th to meet remote at 10:30 AM. September 27th to meet in person at the LPIN adjacent HQ at 12:15 PM. October 25th to meet remote at 10:30 AM. November 22nd to meet remote at 10:30 AM. December 13th to meet at 2 PM in person at the LPIN adjacent HQ with the holiday party following. January 24th to meet remote at 12:15 PM.
No,
Remote would be
10.
10.
10, oh yeah, I wrote that down wrong. Thank you. 10:15 or 10:30, 10:30 AM. And February 7th to meet in person at 12 at the LPIN adjacent HQ at 12:15 PM. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Curran. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The agenda or the schedule is adopted. Next item on the agenda is the service Saturday. Mr. Schick.
Just a quick question, can we assume that next year, like this year, you'll send an invite
Yes.
just before?
No, actually, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna do them tonight.
Okay.
So you guys will get the Google invite tonight.
My calendar way ahead of time.
Shut up. I may not have it on the website for the next week, but I will send you guys the invites tonight. There will not be an agenda attached to that, so you will have to go to the website event listing to get the agendas for it. Okay?
Or you can put it in the library.
Or I could put it on the website because that's also where it's supposed to go.
Not nerds.
Luddites.
I just saw this year I got messed up a couple times because Luke had sent out. a
Yeah,
bunch of
Luke will
invites.
not be doing that again.
Don't
was
be
very annoying.
invites.
So I
Oh, yeah.
was something coming up on my calendar and then your invite would come out. and it'd be
He
different.
actually correctly reminded him that I think I had a fever dream or something was happened because I actually asked him to, but I think it was one meeting. I said, but I did say to him, can you send an invite to that?
Yeah.
And he took it as the whole thing and ran with it. So it's a mutual
The
thing.
SCC.
Service Saturdays. So let's start, last year we started with District 9. What?
Maybe I thought I got prime service Saturday.
Did we start with District 1 last year,
I'm gonna say yes.
Mr. King?
Some-
Okay, we'll say sure.
So, yeah, this one is starting with
D9. Okay, District 9. When would you like to have your service Saturday?
Need to coordinate that actually with Sydney Bloom, is when she can act like, we need to just give her some notice, so.
It's now or never.
It's now, yeah, it's now or you pass. Yeah.
Pick a month, it'll be the next Saturday.
To you.
Beginning in April, or?
Yeah.
Cool. April 12th then April 12th.
You want
No. So you start in May, because you're not gonna do it in April.
What's the table?
May 10th.
May 10th?
You don't have to pick May, you get to pick anyone.
You can pick any month you want. It just has to be the second Saturday. No. Yeah. If you don't pick right now, then everybody else gets to pick and you get stuck with whatever shitty cold month.
No, Mary.
Yeah, I'll get.
Actually,
What is? What did you?
13th rather. Okay.
December.
It's the second Saturday in September, so whatever that
The
is.
13th.
Is it the 13th?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just tell me the month, you just say month, so you want September, okay. District 8, Mr. Haynes.
We're going through what, February?
However long it takes.
You know,
Not March, March is off limits, because that's convention month. Right. What?
We don't have 9. I don't think we have 9 though.
There are 12 months.
There are 12 months in the year,
Oh, yeah. we do.
okay.
There are 11 available to use.
But I favor Christmas now, and Marion County used their service Saturday at the holiday party a few years ago.
Mhm.
And adopted
Michelle.
family. Great.
But we're gonna say August is out because we're doing the state fair.
Yes,
So I would say nobody gets to select August because we're all doing the state fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you really just want that one Saturday to be double booked for yourself. That's fine.
I mean, technically speaking, hold on, pause, actually.
Yeah.
But that's not within their county. or their districts. No, but here's the thing, they may not be volunteering at the state fair that Saturday, so that's fine. They could do that, but scheduling it in March bothers me because it could end up being the convention date, in which case they all better freaking be here.
Right.
So I'm okay with you having an August date. October, okay.
25th.
District 7. December. I really think you should switch it up sometime and be like July. Okay. District 6, Mr. Lomax.
District 6 is gonna take July,
This one's what?
July,
the 12th.
just. Oh, that was, I was like, what was that? She's been quiet the whole time. I didn't know she was here. District 5, May. District 4, Lundy.
This will be August.
Okay.
You wanna go ahead and do this, the state fair one? Okay.
Putting that in the minutes.
He's so funny.
I know. June's good.
June, okay.
I typically do.
You just killed Christie.
Do you need it, Christine? I mean, I'll switch.
I'm like, I
I'll
would
trade
be
with you.
down
You
for
can
August.
finagle with each other.
You can, hey, you can barter and trade, raise some money. Like if it had been me, I would have snatched up December before it got to District 7 and been like, I mean, for $100
Somebody
bucks, you
took our
guys can
home
have
in
it.
July, so that made it really hard.
District 3, Mr. Cotton. Or Miss Avery.
I guess we'll take November.
District 2, Mr. Cotton.
So that what leaves August, September?
January, August, January, February.
August, January.
In April.
I said not to do April because April is,
You don't have enough
in-
time to
right.
market.
You know what, let's shoot for January, what do you think? January?
Yeah.
Cause you're up north, it'll.
Yeah.
Winter there like.
Yeah. They're used to the snow. They're basically Michigan. Mr. Schick.
North of US 30, so.
I actually don't want us to do it. We do a beach club thing. That's always our service thing. So it'll be either April or August.
You can do August.
Yeah, it'll be that month of the fair, but, okay, I'll take August then.
Okay. Okay, so that is the service Saturday schedule. Are there any announcements?
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Schultheis?
Nope.
I know we have another item.
Evan.
I have reset the password for District 2, District
Thank you.
8, Treasurer, Vice
It wasn't
Chair,
written,
Secretary, and
it was here.
Outreach. And everyone should have received emails. If you have any trouble logging in, let me know and I can get that fixed.
I lied. There was another item on the agenda before announcements. Yeah. DeKalb County, Morgan, has gone through all he talked to me before he did it. He's the only member in the county. And so he's gone ahead and shut down his account. He did mail us a check with the remaining funds. It may be in the post office box, came during the convention. I'm not sure why. He should have just brought it with him, honestly. But he did file all his closing paperwork and sent us his documentation. But we do need to officially disaffiliate. So is there a motion to disaffiliate DeKalb County? Moved by Miss Avery. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Curran.
No,
No, I was looking at Ms. Curran when she was talking and she said second.
I thought she said so moved.
She did, but Christie signaled first,
Okay.
so I took hers. So,
Okay.
and that's her district, so, all those in favor, no, it's gotta be a roll call vote.
Yes.
Miss Avery,
It's very sad.
I would not say why. I would do that after the meeting. Okay,
It's very sad that we weren't able to drum up enough membership in that county because Morgan has always been a very active member He comes to Allen County all the time. He just came for our meeting last week. And I mean, he comes to events in other districts as well and just helps out, but it is what it is. I think sometimes we rush to affiliate when we shouldn't. And this is what happens as a result. And hopefully he won't be burnt out and maybe someday it'll happen again. So I'm hopeful.
Are you ready?
When was that?
You started,
I think so.
I don't remember, I don't care, just got one.
Okay. Chair Sceniak?
Oh.
Yeah, your native disaffiliated. Treasurer, Dickson?
Yes.
Yay. Secretary Stephanie, or Dasbach, yay. B1 Schick,
Yes.
D2 Cotton. D3 Avery,
Yes.
D4 Lundy,
Aye.
D5 Schilling.
Aye.
D6 Lomax,
Aye.
D7 Glass. D8 Haynes. D9 Curran.
Aye.
Comms Director Smith,
Aye.
Tech Director Schulteis,
Aye.
Outreach Kokolar. Chair McMahon.
Abstain. As is my tradition, I will abstain from disaffiliation on every vote. Unless I'm being forced to bring the motion, and then I'll vote because I was the mover. It's a shaker.
That's the fine, you still don't have to vote just because you brought the motion.
I know,
You can vote so politically.
I know. I had to argue with Clayton about that, but yeah. Any other announcements? Hearing none.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Glass, moved by Mr. Lomax. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. We are adjourned. The time is 3:25.
Not too bad, it's only 3:30.